All right, everyone. Welcome to tonight's election coverage of tonight's primaries: South Carolina, Maine, Nevada, and Texas. Tonight, we polls, I believe, have just closed in South Carolina. So we're waiting for results to come in from that state. As always, you can go to our website, elections-daily.com. We have our live election results there for these major elections in South Carolina, as well as for the special election in Texas, which will be happening later tonight. I'll go ahead and throw it to Joe to kind of get us started here. What are we looking for? What's going on here exactly? And what's our plan for what are we paying attention to?
Yeah, so obviously, of course, there's a couple of key races across the country tonight. North Dakota is happening tonight. We don't expect anything to come out of North Dakota really tonight. There is a Secretary of State's primary. That may be interesting to watch there, but otherwise, we don't expect much to come out of North Dakota tonight. However, there are three other key areas tonight to look over here tonight. Of course, in South Carolina, there are two key Republican primaries in the 1st and 7th district as incumbent Congresswoman Nancy Mason of the 1st, incumbent Congressman Tom Rice of the 7th are running in primaries against Trump-backed challengers. Mason's running against Katie Arrington. At this point, this is a 1v1 race between her and Arrington. That almost certainly means that one of them will get above the 50% needed to avoid a runoff tonight. Remember, in these southern states, that runoffs are needed in these races. But also in the 7th, Russell Fry, a state representative from the 7th district area, is the main competitor against Rice. Fry, again, he's shown to be in the lead. This is a race that seems to be much more likely to go Trump's way. In the 1st district tonight, two competing Trafalgar polls. The first one in the 1st showed Mace up by about 6.5 on Arrington, with 46.5 to 40 points. In the 1st district poll, the poll with Fry saw him up pretty big on Rice there. In the 7th district, however, not at enough points to clear a runoff. It'll be interesting to see if Fry can get to enough points to clear a runoff, or he's going to have to go to that runoff in 2 weeks on June 28th to see if he can knock off Rice there.
Mm-hmm. And Rice is an interesting figure. Oh, sorry. I just want to mention Rice. He's the only member of Congress who voted to overturn the 2020 election and to impeach Trump. So he kind of fits into a weird circle there.
He's a centrist. That's what I'm gathering here.
What a meme.
Yeah, Rice has been an interesting subject, of course, just based on kind of how he's done things. But in Texas, of course, the 34th district special election, potentially the first round, potentially the only round of the race to place Philemon Vea is going on tonight as well. Myra Flores and Dan Sanchez are the two main candidates backed by Republicans and Democrats specifically there. But of course, one of the big shows tonight is Nevada. Nevada, of course, won't close until 10 o'clock tonight. We will be on there. Depending on what we can analyze, not only from Texas, 34th, and South Carolina, but also there are some big there are some bigger California drops coming tonight, apparently, around 8 p.m. So we'll see maybe what could come of that. But really kind of the key big item tonight is Nevada. Of course, key Republican primaries for governor and Senate tonight to go against Steve Sisolak in the governor's race, and Catherine Cortez Masto in the Senate race. But also the House races are very interesting this year. Nevada created this very much a gerrymandered map that was created here in Nevada that split Las Vegas in a way that created 3 pretty decent Democratic seats, but not necessarily to the strength of its capacity. They still put in, to the complaints of some online, they still put in Reno and pulled parts of Reno within the 2nd congressional district, which is about a Trump plus 14 district there. Which also Mark Modi, the current incumbent Republican, is facing a primary challenge from Danny Tarkanian, the notorious statewide loser in Nevada, as he is well known as right now. But there is interesting Republican primaries for key races in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th districts. All those races, because of the way they drew them, are competitive now, even though they are all seats that were won by Joe Biden by around high single-digit numbers. That does mean in this type of wave election atmosphere that these are seats that are competitive seats. But also Dinah Titus, who represents the 1st district. She used to represent the most solid blue district here in Nevada that was potentially left open to a primary challenger. She thought she would avoid one with the new significantly less blue seat. However, It seems as though Amy Villela, a well-known left-wing Democrat from the area, she became pretty well-known. She was one of the 4 candidates covered in the 2018 documentary Knock Down the House. Of course, that's where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was covered when she won in 2018, as well as Cori Bush, who, while she lost that cycle, was eventually elected in 2020 in her race. And then there was kind of considered the 2 kind of lesser candidates, Villela, who finished, I believe, in 4th in her primary in that 4th congressional district, which is what she ran in previously. The 4th congressional district, she finished 4th in her primary. Of course, Paula Jean Swearengin, who was trying to primary Joe Manchin, lost badly, and then came into a general election, lost very, very badly, and has kind of become more of a joke-esque candidate there for starters. But one of the key factors of the night, it does seem like that race has come back on the budget here. It'll be very, very interesting to see kind of what goes on there in that seat. We're watching that 1st congressional district Democratic primary for sure. That would be potentially could be a damaging thing for Democrats. Villela is untested. She's certainly now in a seat that could potentially be slightly too left-wing for her. Titus had that concern too. She was not very happy when these maps came out and they passed, that she had lost her very deep blue Las Vegas-based seat, considering most of the votes she's taken as a congresswoman so far. That's something interesting to watch there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Nevada is interesting because it's kind of the funniest gerrymander in that, like, you can tell they really thought about it for a long time and then drew a terrible gerrymander, mainly because they kept Reno in a Modi seat, which is just a baffling, truly baffling decision in every way. But yeah, that'll be. I'm watching that. That'll be interesting. I'm also watching just kind of, again, overall primary turnout, seeing where it's going, especially in Nevada. There's been some talk about whether or not Democrats have kind of lost the magic of the Harry Reid machine, the Harry Reid turnout machine. So I'm interested to see if that's if what their turnout is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nevada is one of those weird states where you can say that both statewide party bodies are pretty could be driving into the range of incompetence driven by the extremes of their parties. Nevada's Republican Party has been known to be generally incompetent for about the last decade, while Nevada's, after the death of Harry Reid, Nevada's Democratic Party branch was taken over by left-wing activists in that regard. And that has also brought on some concerns. John Ralston, who's one of the key political reporters in Nevada, has sounded the alarm on this continuously for Nevada Democrats, saying like, hey, this is not your Reid machine of old right now. These have been taken over by folks who do not seem to know what they're doing as much as the Reid machine did. Mm-hmm. And Nevada might be the most interesting state politically. Remember that Nevada technically basically voted even / slightly to the right of the state of the country in 2020. It didn't really move all that much from its position in 2016. It didn't swing at all, really. It swung like by a very marginal percentage to the right, but
it's swung Republican every election since 2008. It swung Republican, even, and it's worth noting, 2020 was about I think a 6-point Democratic win, 5 or 6 points, 5 point, 5 Democratic win in the popular vote. In 2016, it was only 2, and even with this, it still actually swung slightly to the right. So that's a really, really bad sign. Strictly speaking, that's not a good sign if you're a Democrat.
That's because Nevada has one of the lowest rates of college education of any state in America. I think a lot of media pundits tend to think of it as, either a state that's so diverse Democrats could never lose it, which is not really true. I mean, it is a pretty diverse state, but it's not exceedingly so. And also it has an incredibly low rate of college education. And if you see things begin to polarize more and more on educational lines without regards to race, then that spells trouble for Democrats, for sure. So I think a lot of pundits kind of misinterpret the state. They think it's like working class Hispanics in Las Vegas and then a bunch of rich white people right outside. That's not really the state's demographics. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they also all say Nevada. If someone says Nevada and then tells you about the state, you should be immediately suspicious of them. And I hear every pundit call it Nevada. So I think they're misinterpreting the state.
But one thing I want to mention is that just to go back to South Carolina real quick. One thing I'll be interested to look at is the Democratic primary here. There's a bunch of candidates, but I'm going to want to look at turnout differentials, in particular in Charleston County. Charleston County seen a pretty rapid shift to the left over the last few years, but it's worth noting that in 2016, Tim Scott, who is unopposed for the Republican nomination, won South Carolina by 24 points, as Donald Trump only won it by 14. One of those counties he won was Charleston County. He won it by 15 points. Jamie Harrison, just last cycle, won it by 13 points for the Democrats. So I'll be interested to see if that's an area that can kind of swing back a little bit for Republicans. Scott previously represented it in the 1st District. He's a very uncontroversial Republican. So I'm going to be really interested to see kind of how the total Democratic turnout in Charleston compares to the Republican ones. South Carolina is not a blue trending state, but Charleston is an area where Democrats are pretty excited about in the long run and right now. So that's just one place I'm interested in South Carolina.
Yeah, and I think there's been drama recently in South Carolina, the Democratic side, in the race to probably lose to Henry McMaster from anywhere to 12 to 16 points. We have to remember that even though this is a wave election, South Carolina has generally been a relatively inelastic state, except for a few specific candidates. Tim Scott actually being one of them. It's been a relatively inelastic state, usually finishing anywhere between 11 to like 15 points for the Republican candidate in that regard. But the Democratic primary for governor has gotten surprisingly nasty. It was kind of thought that Joe Cunningham, the former congressman from the old 1st Congressional District, the non-gerrymandered one, who lost in the
Wave baby.
Wave baby again.
Well, it was gerrymandered. It was just not gerrymandered enough to survive the suburban.
Correct. Yeah.
The suburban
That's
shifts.
correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. That is correct.
The less gerrymandered. The less
gerrymandered map for the now significantly more gerrymandered map.
Yeah.
But that'll be but Cunningham is in this race, but then Mia McLeod, who I believe is a state representative, she's African American, is also running, and this race has gotten suddenly very nasty. First, because McLeod is seemed to have brought up a affair that was had by the the Democratic state house leader there in South Carolina, where she said that you wanted me to appoint that you married the babysitter, and then you wanted me to appoint the babysitter to the judgeship, and I said no, and she put that live on Twitter. And then about a couple of days ago, Joe Cunningham's now ex-wife, which I didn't even know, but apparently Cunningham has recently gone through a divorce, and apparently did not end well because Cunningham's wife went out and publicly endorsed McLeod in the race about 2 days ago. So, it's always funny to see drama occur in seats and races that, a candidate is pretty likely to lose in.
Yeah, I think that was funny. Like they're not hashing out the custody informally in that one. They're definitely going to court because you don't endorse your ex's primary opponent. That was nasty. Yeah, that was nasty. And then also McLeod just absolutely I get she was mad about the her caucus leader in the state house not endorsing her, but man, that was like scorched earth. Like that was like, oh my God. Like
I don't think it's generally considered appropriate to bring up the affair.
I enjoyed it. I
did too. But I'm just saying I don't think it's generally considered appropriate by the rules of the House parliamentarian to bring up affairs on Twitter like that. I don't think that's considered proper parliamentary procedure. So.
One thing I do want to note for tonight is that while I recommend you all go to the Elections Daily website, South Carolina has a really, really good election reporting website. They have live precinct data that comes in, like the county showing that you can see the precincts pretty easily. Usually, it's a really, really good website. So if you're not wanting to look at Elections Daily, you want to have them side by side. South Carolina's Board of Elections, really, really, really good website. They do a very good job of reporting very quickly and accurately in a very readable, even mappable format. You can just copy over the data pretty quickly, and it works like a charm. It's a really good website.
Right now, we're still waiting for first results in from South Carolina. No results yet reported by either DDHQ. I'm also watching the Times tonight. Eric has his eyes on Washington Post reporting results as well, just in case. Especially for some of these down ballot races, potentially. But as we wait on South Carolina tonight, gentlemen, of course, in the last week, California, of course, still has around what we expect to be just over 2 million votes left to count in the entire state, which is impressive almost at this point, which you see Kraz sighing. I should remind folks.
Not in a good way. It's impressive, not in a good way, to be clear.
Not in a good way.
If you cannot tell by my tone, this is sarcastic.
If you look up how elections are run in various places in the world, the only place where you will find where like the results pretty clear wins. Like when a candidate wins, like clearly, like it's really not like that close. Like recounts happen everywhere, obviously. Close elections happen everywhere. But the only places in the world where like a candidate can win by 8 and where like you just like won't know for like weeks at a time is like California and like developing countries. It's like if you look on the Wikipedia,
and when it's the developing countries, it's fraud.
Yeah, well, yeah, but then like you look on the Wikipedia for like like elections in like the Congo, and it's like the results won't be known for 2 weeks because the commission has to like count all the ballots and add them, and I'm like, whoa. Thank God I don't live in a country like that. And then I'm like, wait a minute, yeah, I do.
Just to remind folks, Kraz is a born and raised man of the great People's Republic of San Francisco.
Yeah, so we got, well, and it's funny because in the Chesapeake recall, he's actually a lot closer now than he was. I think he's still losing by like 10. But like the city has dropped like 100,000 ballots since election night. And it's just
but I mean to be compared to the rest of the state though, San Francisco has actually done a relatively quick job of counting their ballots compared to the rest of the state.
Yes, this is true. It's really Southern California. I don't know if some of our viewers remember 2018 when Democrats were trying to flip a bunch of House races in Orange County, and
even 2020,
even 2020, it was the same deal. It was like you used to go weeks. I mean, I think some of those races weren't decided until December.
I mean, I don't think the Mike Garcia race was confirmed until like Thanksgiving, I think, in 2020.
And it's funny too because
I don't think this is acceptable. This is not remotely acceptable. I think I want to make this clear. This is not a good system that other states should follow. This is a very, very bad way of counting votes.
What's funny is I think
Genu Coulter as a contributor is Genu Coulter is not a fan of the system. It takes so long. It's just not a good way to do things.
Well, I think it's interesting. We have Nevada tonight, obviously, and Nevada is an interesting case study because they do a lot of their elections by mail and early vote, just like California does. So, as some people know, California is like an all mail. You can vote in person, but it's mostly like they send out a ballot to everyone. And Nevada, like they have really pervasive vote by mail and early vote, but they count like very fast. Like I think maybe there's usually one big update either really late at night or early the next morning from Nevada, usually that includes some votes that came in right before polls close. But other than that, like they're done by the next morning pretty much always. In 2020, it was a little close, but like you could tell like there was no way back for Trump, and you could tell in 2020. So I think it's interesting because like Nevada makes it work, and like it's literally just California. Like lest everyone thinks we're like ragging on them too hard. Like it's literally just them.
It's just California. They're awful. It's hard to just. The only other state board of elections in the country that is nearly as incompetent or as incompetent as the New York Board of Elections. They're in a league of their own.
2 weeks too.
Ooh. They're in a league of their own when it comes to electoral incompetence.
Who's this?
But yeah.
New York.
Oh well, New York. Well, that's because New York's is different because New York's is just filled with. It's because it can be filled by political appointees. So everyone and their mother appoints their buddy to count the ballots, and then you don't have anyone who knows what the hell they're doing, and then it's like, oh, we accidentally, and then it's like, oh, we actually did just accidentally forget a whole box of ballots in New York 22. Sorry about that, folks. That actually, as much as that is a tripe that is well oft overused by the election knives of 2020, that did actually happen in New York's 22nd in the race between Claudia Tenney and Anthony Brindisi in 2020. That actually did happen, where the 22nd district counter was like, wait a second, we just left a whole box of votes left in the back room. Whoops a daisy.
I just want to imagine. I sometimes like to lay down and imagine the conspiracies that would proliferate.
We have some first results in from South Carolina. We've got some in here from Chesterfield County in the 7th district. Yes, it's from Chesterfield County, 7th district. Russell Fry has a 32-26 lead over Tom Rice there. But Garrett Barton, who I don't know who he is, but Garrett Barton, if these are not test results, doing surprisingly well in this first drop. He's at 23% of the vote. right
we're
now.
We're gonna look him up, and we're gonna look him up.
Yeah,
He's gonna be like,
I'm
he's
looking
gonna
at
be
the
like
South
Michael
Carolina Board of
Cassidy.
Elections.
He's gonna be like Michael Cassidy.
I don't see anything reporting in South Carolina's Board of Elections yet, so that could just be test results.
Okay.
We'll see.
Washington Post does have for House. Sorry, let me pull this up here. Yeah, they don't have any results in from Chesterfield County yet on Washington Post. So I think these are test results.
But we'll see. We thought things aren't test results, and they turn out to be test results, and then we thought things are test results, and they turn out to be test results.
Yeah, so I would just assume those are test results.
We will assume that for now until proven wrong later. But yeah, I mean, California, though, is to get back to the original topic of not just how bad California is at counting their ballots, but California, we've seen things develop, but not really necessarily change. Still, the most interesting thing that seems to be left is David Valadao in his race. Chris Mathis has come close. It does look like that Valadao will survive, not by an impressive margin by any means, but he's been doing the best in Kern County, and that's really seems to be all that's left. In the district is Kern County, that's a boon for Valadao for sure. But we basically everywhere else, Young Kim in the end pretty relatively easily handled Mathis, Greg Raft in her district there in that race, which was the new 40th district. Young Kim easily handled that there. And also Republicans hold nearly a 59-41 lead in the primary vote there in the 40th district, which is relatively impressive. It's about a Biden +2 seat. We now rate that race as a likely Republican. Kim is a above average candidate for that seat. She won the old, I believe, 39th it was under the old numbering. I believe it was the 39th district that she won, but yeah, that was a good result there for her. And of course, the Los Angeles mayor is heading to a runoff between the rich billionaire Rick. What's his name? What's his name again? I forget his name. Caruso. Rick Caruso. Rick Caruso and Congresswoman Karen Bass.
Someone in the chat just made the point that Republicans have taken the overall lead in California 9 in terms of ballots cast. 50.2 to 48.9. Interesting. We'll also say, I meant to plug this. I saw a very interesting analysis today from, I believe it was Noah Rudnick, who made the point that oftentimes you do see a shift to Democrats from the primary to the general election in California, but that it's less when the turnout is really, really high. Partly just because for demographic reasons, Republicans probably do better in some of these districts with lower turnout, but also because the more people you have turn out the first time, like the less new voters there are the second time to like shake up the electorate. So like, I think like I think that looking at the turnout now, you would probably expect there to be some Democratic shift into November, but like not that much. So I think people should keep that in mind too. But like, it's not like, oh, Democrats got like 49% in this district, like they're safe. They're going to win with 53% or something. Like it's like they might actually lose a district like that in 2022.
Like, I think there's a reason we have Katie Porter's seat. We don't have it, I think, we have it as Leans, I think. We have it on the board. Yeah. Like, that's a seat that I think the vote total is about 50-50. In general, you would think that leans Republican or leans Democratic based on that vote total. But, we really don't know. We really don't know until Election Day comes in.
I will say New York Times has a couple of results that I'm not sure if are on the South Carolina Board of Elections. They have Abbeville and Lawrence County, Abbeville, and Lawrence County, at least partially reporting some results. And in those counties, they have Mia McLeod destroying Joe Cunningham so far. We'll see if those are real and if that holds. But that would also be.
Please give me another reason to laugh tonight. Please.
Only a handful of ballots so far. Only a handful of ballots, to be fair.
I've talked a lot the last few weeks about election results that I think are objectively funny. That would also be objectively funny if he gets not endorsed by his ex-wife and then proceeds to lose to like an unknown state senator.
Wait, I was told that Joe Cunningham's a really strong candidate for governor and that he's definitely going to hold Mcmaster within 10 points. If you go to certain
I don't understand either. Like Cunningham confounds me the same way with Finkenauer. Like Cunningham legit like did he surprised everyone in 2018. He put up a really good fight actually in 2020 and came close to winning again. But like, why then go on this like kamikaze mission against Henry Mcmaster in 2022? Why not like sit around and wait and stay involved in politics, and like in 2026 when South Carolina one is bluer again and it's a potentially a Democratic leaning midterm, you can jump back in and be the presumptive nominee? Like, why are you like going on this like ridiculous like campaign?
Money.
I mean, maybe like even if you pay yourself out of the campaign account, like what kind of salary are you paying yourself, right? Like, it can't be like
search for more money.
Yeah, search for more money, more prominence. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you hope Henry Mcmaster, like, I don't know, like has some unbelievable
kills
scandal,
a baby or
like
something.
Yeah, like
kills a baby,
kills a puppy on television.
goes on a hike in the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
Poor Mark.
Even that wouldn't do it. I think to lose like Henry Mcmaster in this situation, you'd have to like actually commit a felony on television. Like I think like it's like it'd be almost impossible.
Yeah, it'd be
no. That's why I
hard
think the killing the baby example is pretty accurate. Like that's basically what he would have to do.
Yeah,
no,
basically.
I don't think that's wrong. The idea of killing. We should. I don't know if we should be laughing on live air about the idea of killing a child. I don't know, but I don't think that looks particularly good. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird how both Finkenauer and Cunningham have chosen these routes. I think Kraz is right there. I think it's very, very weird how both have chosen these routes here. That's for sure. Because you look at them, and it's not like they're old.
Also, Beto.
Well, yeah, Beto. Yeah, Beto screwed up once when he ran for president, where he smelled his own farts and was like, "I'm going to run for president." And then he said,
and I'm going to also take the most liberal left-wing platform on everything.
And then he was like, "I'm going to take
hey, let's ban churches. Let's tax churches."
And I forgot the tax churches things is actually worse.
Wait, what was the line? Was I'm going to attack the churches, and hell yeah, I'm coming to take your guns. Like, that was
hey, buddy, you want to have a few?
And also, wants to be the governor of Texas.
President, I guess.
Yeah, wants to be the governor of Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's obviously the thing is, especially with Finkenauer and Cunningham, is these are not old I think Cunningham's in his late 30s, Finkenauer's in her mid 30s. These are not elder statesmen politicians or anything.
I wouldn't call them young guns, but they're not old people for sure.
No, they're not.
Finkenauer's one of the youngest at this.
Finkenauer's 35. That's pretty young for a politician. I mean, come on, that's only 10 years above the age line.
I just think it's hard to go back to private practice, so to speak. I know Cunningham was an engineering consultant or something, and it's got to be hard to just go back to being an engineering. I mean, it's a good job. I mean, I'm not ragging on engineering consultants. It's just it's got to be hard. You were in Congress, right? To then be well, I'm just gonna go work a 9 to 5 again. You're probably have an itch to go run for something.
Yeah, well then Roscoe Bartlett, the guy who was gerrymandered out of the old.
Oh yeah, he went.
Then he just leave for he just went off the grid, right? He just left the grid.
He lives off the grid in Western Maryland now. I think.
Yeah.
He just lives totally off the grid, which is hilarious.
Yeah. So, but
no, I think you think about it this way, so if you're Joe Cunningham, you're in a state that is very Republican. It is very inelastic and is not shifting anytime soon. All of your local elected offices have been put in, there's already Democrats in Charleston. There's not new Democratic seats in Charleston. You could run it in the legislature. Even if you run in the legislature, you're going to be in a minority. You're going to be one of the few white Democrats in the caucus, frankly, because, Jamie Harrison ensured the extinction of South Carolina's white Democrats in 2020. You're basically just going to be stuck there in a low-paying job. They pay pretty terribly, the legislature in South Carolina. Promoting, trying to do stuff that you can't get past in a state that's extremely conservative. I don't imagine that being too appealing of a strategy. So you're not going to win money for governor.
You'd be the most junior member in you're a powerless minority caucus, right? And
just by virtue of being a white Democrat, I mean, you're not going to be rising in leadership, assuming you stay there too long. Just as a demographic factor, that's not a position that's too appealing at this point, I don't think. I mean, so yeah, you can run for governor. It's not going to work. You'll get some money. Maybe you build up some field operations for your party, I guess. But of course, that also doesn't work if you don't win your race for governor. which it doesn't appear. I mean, it's very, very early. We have no idea if these hold or not. But like, just strictly speaking, a majority of the voters in this Democratic primary in South Carolina are going to be black. That's a pretty good factor right there for me and McLeod. South Carolina Democrats have shown a preference for nominating black candidates. Against Tim Scott nominated them, Jamie Harrison in 2020. Obviously, in 2018 you had Smith, but he was also like one of the last white Senate Democrats standing in the state, represented a very, very rural Trump district that voted for Trump and that he was able to appeal in. Like, he had some appeal. He had some appeal in Columbia in particular. Charleston is not really representative of the state of South Carolina as a whole. The area is really, really kind of divorcing itself from the rest of the state in terms of vibe. So I just think maybe he was just stuck in terms of like what his options are, because there's not really any good ones. You're a wave baby in a red state that's not getting bluer anytime soon. What do you do?
Well, maybe he's being
really
altruistic. Like, I don't think. I mean, I take the position that the whole Jamie Harrison thing was ridiculous. But like, if you look at South Carolina, I don't think it's like the most absurd state in the world for Democrats to like at least try in, right? Like, it's like an R+10 state. R+10 state with some very conservative suburbs, right? And if you are, if you're an R+10 state with very conservative suburbs, especially upstate around Greenville, Spartanburg, Clemson, like uber conservative religious suburbs, like those are not like, it's not the worst place to try to like build up a little bit of a base and a little bit of some momentum, right?
Sure.
Like, I think demographically, it's not like ludicrous to think they should invest there. The problem is that I'm not really sure what Joe Cunningham is doing besides just like, like resist posting and then like hoping that he somehow stumbles into a good performance.
Well, yeah, as we continue to, I guess, deal with the fact that South Carolina is just refusing to count votes tonight so far.
Well, Decision Desk, our friends at Decision Desk do have some results now.
One of them is Test. One of them is Test and Marion.
Yeah, one of them is, but they have McLeod. I still can't tell if Chesterfield is Test, so we're gonna have to wait on that one. But they have Cunningham up in the counties that are reporting right now, up in upstate. That's upstate though, so.
Yeah, Spartanburg, Lawrence, and Greenwood all have Cunningham in not like big leads, but in leads.
Yeah.
The big ones to look at here, if you're looking at the Democratic primary, would be those rural counties that kind of occupy the center belt of the state, kind of stretching up from the coast up into the Columbia area. Columbia itself is going to be a really big area to keep an eye on. Democratic county, Richland County, very Democratic county. It's probably the kingmaker in terms of where. In terms of the state, and then obviously Charleston is pretty important at this point for Democrats, but really the big one's going to be those majority black counties, and then Columbia would be where I'd say keep an eye on.
Yeah, Columbia is the big one, of course. It's probably the most different. It's like the most balanced, I'd say, of the counties, where it's not the full look like white suburbia almost of Charleston, but it's also not the politics of the heavy majority black counties. Around the area. Columbia has a pretty decent mix of African American and white Democratic voters. That'll tell a lot who wins Columbia County. Yeah. In the Democratic
what I would say
side,
from experience is I've been through Columbia. I've been through it. It's very similar to like Montgomery, Alabama. If you've been through there, it's very similar to a lot of smaller, mid-sized cities in the Deep South that are pretty diverse. Probably another one would maybe I wouldn't compare it to Gastonia, but like it's not a huge city. But if you've been through them, it's like it's close enough in terms of, I think it actually is a Republican mayor at this point. They elected a Republican mayor kind of in a shock for the first time in decades. I believe it was a few months ago. I can't remember how many months ago, but it was a shock win for Republicans in Columbia. It's not a competitive county or a competitive area, but it is the biggest area for Democrats in the state. It's the biggest one we're going to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
And then obviously, both of those competitive primaries are on the coast. The first district, stretching up through Charleston area, and then the 7th district, which stretches from Myrtle Beach area into some of the inland areas like Chesterfield County in particular. Basically takes in a couple of 3 really diverse counties, Marlborough County, Dillon, and Marion counties. Those are 3 generally majority black or close to it counties that are pretty small or in the district. And it's very, very Republican. Again, this has been a Republican district for quite a while at this point. The Myrtle Beach area in particular is just overwhelmingly Republican. To put it simply, it's home to a bunch of retirees. They almost all vote Republican. If you've been through Myrtle Beach, you know it. It is like the retiree heaven for snowbirds, white boomers. They love it. I prefer Wilmington area myself, but
they should combine Brunswick. They should combine Brunswick County in North Carolina and Horry County in South Carolina into their own like white
mega
boomer retiree state. Yeah, like they should have their own state.
It's actually its own metropolitan area. The census did change it. They took Brunswick out of the Wilmington metro and put it in with the Myrtle Beach metro. I don't agree with that. I would actually combine the three metros together into a combined statistical area. I would have basically Myrtle Beach, Wilmington combined statistical area, taking Horry County, taking Brunswick, taking Wilmington, taking Pender, maybe taking Columbus County. Those would be the big ones to take in. I think that'd be reasonable. But it's also pretty small as far as a combined statistical area would go. They're clearly two separate areas if you've been through them, though. Wilmington is a lot different feel than Myrtle Beach. Like Myrtle Beach feels like Myrtle Beach. I don't want to shit on Myrtle Beach or anything, but like it is what it is. Like if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Like it's very much kind of Florida.
Okay, but
vibes.
I've been to Wilmington Beach, and like that's just like. I remember sitting on the beach and being like, wow, this is a beach. Like, it's long. Yeah. Like, whoa.
Wilmington is a beach. Yeah. Downtown Wilmington is like scenic oceanside. Like, it's small. It's really walkable. Downtown Myrtle Beach is many things. I would not call it that. They're very different vibes, basically. Also, Wilmington's a lot wider as a college, but I digress on it. Keep an eye on Myrtle Beach. That's going to be the deciding factor here. It's pretty big. I think the only area Democrats do pretty decently in is some of the black areas, maybe around Conway, which is coastal Carolina, is from Conway. They got a pretty decent football team.
Baby.
Yeah, they got a good football team. We play them.
I gotta interrupt here, Eric. We just got a big drop in the first district from Charleston County. Nice. Nancy Mace. In this estimated around 50%, 15% of the vote estimated in here from DDHQ. Nancy Mace leads 68-30 over Katie Arrington.
Charleston, that's big.
Charleston County.
Yeah. And I would also like to point out in the Democratic gubernatorial primary, Joe Cunningham wins that batch of votes 84-13 over Mia McLeod.
Oh,
so
makes sense. He's from the Charleston area. That makes sense.
We are not calling anything like that. However, I will say that if Joe Cunningham gets 85% of the vote in Charleston, that's going to be a big boost to his chances of this primary.
Yeah. But what I would say actually about the first is that I'm actually pretty sure Nancy Mace is not from Charleston. I'm pretty sure she lives in Dorchester County. I need to see her exact residence, but I'm pretty sure she's not exactly in the county lines in Charleston County. So doing very well in Charleston is very good for her.
According to Wikipedia, she lives there, but I don't know how true that is.
I don't think that's accurate. She lives in. Oh, here we go. Daniel Island News. She lives in Daniel Island. Where is Daniel Island?
I'm pretty sure that
is located. Okay, so it is in Charleston. Yeah. So she does live in Charleston now. I'm pretty sure she lived previously in Dorchester, but she does live in Charleston now. So that's good for her performing there. There's only 17 votes in from Beaufort County. Katie Arrington leads there 11-6 in terms of votes. So not really a lot you can make a judgment of there. The other ones we're going to keep an eye on, of course, would be Beaufort. Beaufort is a big one. I think it's Beaufort. It's really confusing. North Carolinians and South Carolinians, just a little bit of lore for you, is both of us have a Beaufort, and we both pronounce them differently. And there was a bunch of confusion as to what is the correct pronunciation of Beaufort. I believe one of them is Beaufort and one of them is Beaufort. So before I make a fool of myself, I'm going to check to see what Beaufort, South Carolina, is pronounced as, because they are pronounced differently. They're not pronounced the same. So just a heads up for if you're going down there. Beaufort. Yeah, so South Carolina is Beaufort. Beaufort, South Carolina.
Yeah, getting back to the actual numbers here, I just want to say that is like a rough drop for Katie Arrington from Charleston. Like I mean, like it's an early drop, and like in theory, like she can come back from it. Like that's a rough drop for the first 2,000 votes in Charleston County. Like that is a rough drop for sure. And I think what was the Trafalgar poll? It was what, 46-40? I think the Trafalgar poll.
Well, I always trust Trafalgar for my polling.
Yeah. Oh, correction pronunciation. North Carolina is Beaufort. South Carolina is Beaufort. So it's Beaufort.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, this is confusing. Now you'll never be able to say them correctly because I said that. But yeah, Charleston is the big one here. And I actually want to look at the 7th because the 7th, if there's any results from that, could be a problem for definitely could be a problem if these results are accurate. Let's see if the website has the 7th district here. I only want to look at federal races. They're showing a lot of Tom Rice right now, according to the website, is actually only in second. So Russell Fry is in first, 32% of the vote. Tom Rice is in second with 26, and then Garrett Barton is with 23%. South Carolina has runoffs. This could potentially mean that incumbent Tom Rice might not make the runoff. These results are mostly in from, let's look at this here, Chesterfield County. They're only from Chesterfield County. So again, this may not be representative. I know Tom Rice is from Myrtle Beach. So that's the big one here, is to keep an eye on Myrtle Beach.
What you thinking there? Eric?
I want to see Myrtle Beach before I make any judgments.
Yeah, of course. But so early numbers right now, folks. We've got Russell Fry up mainly in Chesterfield County, at the very edge of the district here. He's up with Tom Rice in second, but a big early vote drop in South Carolina puts Nancy Mace up pretty big, thanks to a big Charleston drop there. Again, I do want to mention, though, we are about 16 minutes out from polls closing in Texas tonight. In the 34th district there in Texas, we are about 16 minutes out from polls closing there tonight. We'll be, of course, watching that race pretty closely tonight as that primary, that theoretical primary goes on tonight, potentially turning into a victory tonight for Republicans. We are watching to see if Myra Flores, Republican candidate, can clear 50, or if Dan Sanchez, a Democratic candidate, would surprise everyone and flip turn 50 as well. That's really what we're watching here tonight, folks.
I actually want to go a little bit more to the first district here because I don't think we've talked about the race too much of why this is happening, why Nancy Mace is being primaried. And frankly, I'm not sure we still know. So obviously, 2018, Katie Arrington, primaries Mark Sanford, incumbent Republican. He was a pretty squishy Republican when he got elected. He kind of got elected because of a resignation from Tim Scott. He ran into special because it was a very Republican district then, and he was running against, I believe, Stephen Colbert's sister-in-law. She won pretty handily. Democrats tried to invest in the race. It didn't really go anywhere. And he was a pretty normal Republican for a lot of his term. Going a little bit into Mark Sanford, when he was governor, he was actually a reformer as the governor. And I mean that genuinely. South Carolina for a long time had this kind of entrenched political system. A lot of older Republicans in charge, really not very transparent in terms of government efficiency. One really common tactic, which Nikki Haley has talked about, is that when she went into the legislature, votes were usually done by voice vote. The vote was not recorded. So representatives did not have to say whether they voted for or against a spending bill or any sort of other bill. When Sanford came in, he wanted to stop that. He worked with Nikki Haley to do that. That got her in a lot of trouble. That got him in a lot of trouble. They were very closely associated politically, which is why she had a harder time running in 2010, why she almost lost that race. She was very closely associated with Mark Sanford. But in terms of government effectiveness and policy, Sanford was generally seen as a very, very good governor in those regards. After Trump is elected, he takes a very, very negative stance on Trump. He also starts voting a lot less conservatively, gets primaried by Katie Arrington, which is a lot more reasonable at the time in terms of what happened. And then Katie Arrington, she's too conservative for the seat. The seat was about Trump plus 10 at the time, I think, which is, or Trump plus 8 or so. It was a competitive seat, but Republicans should have held it. She turns out to be the wrong candidate for the seat. Not only that, she gets into a car crash late in the campaign. It's unable to campaign. Joe Cunningham is kind of this white whale candidate for Democrats, manages to win it. Arrington did not run in 2020. That was Nancy Mace. Mace was seen as like the star recruit for Republicans. Came in there, had some historical animosity with Nikki Haley. Actually, they're pretty close companions now politically, but back in the day, they were mortal enemies. back in the the early 2010s, that era of South Carolina politics. They were mortal enemies. Now they're campaigning together to kind of represent their brand of South Carolina politics. But Arrington is running a very, very Trumpy campaign, a very, very conservative campaign, a very campaign focused on elections. Even though Nancy Mace did not vote to impeach Trump, she irritated Trump because she was very, very negative about him after the January 6th incident. She talked about how she was scared for her daughter's safety, bringing her, into D.C. She was scared for her own safety. She was she clearly took the event very seriously, being a part of it, and talked about censuring Trump, maybe not impeaching him, but censuring him. She didn't think impeachment was constitutional. This is why there's this primary. The problem is, politically, Nancy Mace is basically really, really in step with her district. Like, the big thing that sunk Katie Arrington was offshore energy farming, oil rigs. Arrington supported it. Joe Cunningham aggressively opposed it. Nancy Mace also aggressively opposes offshore oil off the coast of Charleston, and this is something that Charleston voters very much care about. This is probably
wait a second, Eric. You're telling me that people who live and their economy is driven by a beach is very, very against having oil rigs only maybe a couple hundred miles from their beach that could destroy their most precious tourist resource? No, you're telling me those voters wouldn't be. Yeah. You can't tell me those voters would be against that.
Especially when many of them moving in are white, college-educated, more liberal voters who care about the environment and who generally dislike oil in general. Yes, it's worth noting the state of South Carolina has banned, or at least Charleston County has, thanks to Nancy Mace. That was a big part of her campaign, is that she got offshore oil banned. So basically, Arrington is not a good ideological fit for this district. The only thing she has going for her in this district is the Trump election fraud stuff. And that's not worked for a lot of candidates. She's polling about 30% right now. What have we said this entire campaign when we've seen these results come in? The election fraud Trump endorsement gets you to about 30% of the vote, 31% of the vote. That only goes so well, and that really only works in divided fields. Right now, she's right at 30%. This is really early, but I actually would not be shocked if the results are closer to 70-30. It could be 60-40. It could be 55-45. But honestly, this result would not shock me if this is the actual result, because the Arrington is not a proven figure in the district. She lost. She is already a loser in the district. She did not run a good campaign when she was there. She's out of step on an issue a lot of Charleston voters care very passionately about. So to be losing in Charleston County by this margin, I can totally see this holding. This is something that I could absolutely see holding, especially as we get more of these areas coming in around them. Did you see something? What did you see?
Well, Darlington County just came in on DDHQ. They're estimating about 15% of the vote in Darlington County. Ooh. That is in the 7th district. Tom Rice is in 3rd place in that county right now, with the votes coming in right now. Behind Barbara Arthur, he's behind 24 to 23 right there. It's only about 15 votes, but he's behind. That leaves him around 21.5%. Fry is around just under 44. Arthur is hovering around 20 right now. Again, in theory, this is something that could change as we get closer to Rice's home base in the Myrtle Beach area, but doesn't look like we're trending towards outright win for Fry, but I would be a little bit concerned right now if I was Rice, if I'm making the runoff at this point.
Yeah. Again, it's worth noting this is a rural county. This is inland. This is actually, if you're familiar with NASCAR, this is the home of that Darlington Speedway. The really famous, one of my favorite NASCAR tracks. It's the egg-shaped track. Famously, it's shaped that way because the guy didn't want his farm to be disrupted, so they had to build the track the unusual egg shape because they didn't want to disrupt his existing land. So they wouldn't deserve his minnow pond at the side of the property because this is the thing people cared about when they were making raceways at the time. So this is that part of the state. Like if you think of South Carolina, I'm not seeing anything from the Board of Elections yet, but that could easily be DDHQ ahead of the curve. They're known for being ahead of the curve on a lot of this stuff. Florence is also going to be interesting. Florence is a pretty large area. If you're familiar with South Carolina, that part, Florence is probably the biggest population center inland. Basically, if you go from Columbia inland to Robeson County, or you go towards the coast of Myrtle Beach, like Florence is about in the middle of all that. It's, as far as population centers go, it's pretty large for the region, which is not very large. And then you have Myrtle Beach, which is Horry County, which is, of course, the biggest portion of the district. So, that's interesting if it holds. I would, again, say that I really want to see Myrtle Beach because that will give an idea of whether if Tom Rice keeps, if he's in third or fourth in these counties, that's not good. But the Myrtle Beach voters could very well pull them differently. It's a different region. It's a different portion of the state, different media market, different concerns. We'll see. But again, these are also, really old retiree boomers, a lot of them from other states who may be more inclined to a Trumpy form of conservatism and not to whatever Tom Rice was trying to do after voting against certifying the election and also voting for impeachment. I don't think he pleased anyone with that.
That's a weird. It was a weird choice. It was a choice.
It's a choice. It's certainly a choice. Yeah. So let's. I'm going to keep reloading here on the South Carolina website, but as of right now, they have Chesterfield again. He's at only 26% still in Chesterfield, which is second place. That's not good. That's really bad for an incumbent in particular. If this goes to a runoff, you don't want to be an incumbent behind. Certainly don't want to be at this small, but you don't want to be behind. To be pretty simple there. It looks like they only got about 15,000 ballots counted statewide in South Carolina at this point. So let me go back to the first district here. Yeah, same results here total. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other primaries, though, statewide. So right now, gubernatorial primary, Joe Cunningham is ahead, 62-26. Again, part of that's due to that really strong performance in Charleston, but there's also portions in Spartanburg. He's up by about 12 percentage points in Spartanburg. That's a strongly Republican county. He's pulling above 60% Pickens and Akani. Pickens is home to Clemson. It's probably the most conservative college county in the country, I would think. Certainly the most conservative large college county. This is I think a 70-80% Trump county. Very, very, very conservative area. Even Clemson isn't blue. If you actually look at it, it's a pretty 50-50 area, or at most around the campus. Mia McLeod is doing the best around Chesterfield County. Earlier, and in Darlington's reported a little bit. Nothing in from Calhoun. Nothing in from Richland. The big thing I would be concerned for her, though, is look at these early results from Orangeburg County. 25% of the vote in. This is a black belt county. This is a relatively competitive county. It's not overwhelmingly African, but Cunningham is leading. They're 66% of the vote. Another one right here, another black county in the inland is Hampton County. Joe Cunningham is up by a percentage point there. Mia McLeod is down 41-39. And actually may have a little bit in from one other county right here, Marion County. This is a small rural county. She's up there 84% of the vote. This may be where she serves in the legislature, would be my guess. We believe Marion's might be test results. Oh, Joe, you're muted, or I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can hear him.
Oh, I can't hear you at all. Dang. Okay.
I think I agree with Joe on this one. I think Marion's test results, because she serves in the state senate in Columbia. So I think these are probably test.
Yeah, if you look at Marion results in other counties.
Carlton Boyd is only Cunningham's not even reporting at all. Yep.
Yeah.
And even in Darlington, she's only up by 4. I would really rather be Joe Cunningham right now. Obviously, there's only so much Richland County can do to save you here. The Senate primary, Crystal Matthews is up ahead 39% of the vote. Again, this race doesn't matter. Democrats have not seriously contested a Senate. I'll say this. I don't consider 2020 seriously contesting a Senate campaign because they lost that thing by 10. Democrats have not seriously contested a Senate campaign in South Carolina in decades. And of course, they had the notorious candidate failure in 2010 when you had Alvin Green sneak through the Democratic primary. There was a really embarrassing result for Democrats. I think Jim DeMint ended up winning re-election there very easily. The Green Party candidate took like 10% of the vote. It was really embarrassing statewide for Democrats. But we're not paying too close attention to the Democratic statewide primary here. It's not really going to matter too much right now. What I will say is, though,
unbelievable you don't trust in the Jamie Harrison machine.
The Jamie Harrison. God. Henry Mcmaster in the Republican primary is ahead at 84-16. That's actually an exceptionally strong performance for an incumbent.
Yeah. I want to say DDHQ has called that race for McMaster. Yeah. DDHQ has called that race. McMaster. No surprise. Mcmaster will be the Republican nominee for governor.
Yeah, I will say being up 84-16 is a really, really strong performance for any candidate in a two-person primary, even if as an incumbent even. Usually, a lot of times, opposition candidates will get even just like 20% of the vote as a baseline, 25%. This is a really good performance for him. Not surprising, he's very, very popular. He's the Republican governor of South Carolina. He's very popular. I mean, to get reelected. Not really much more to say about it.
I'm looking up his opponent kind of for fun. Wait.
How crazy?
I don't even know why he's running. His platform is just like standard stuff. It's like abolish the state income tax, school choice, level the playing field for small business, infrastructure spending. I don't know. This feels like his name is he calls himself Trucker Bob, but his name is something. Wait, what's it? Oh, Harrison. Yeah, Harrison Musselwhite, but his website is Trucker Bob. I don't know what this guy's deal is.
He is a thing.
That's a branding problem right there. That's a bit of a branding issue.
The website says vote Trucker Bob, and it says about Trucker Bob, but his name on the ballot is Harrison Musselwhite. So, like, I think
that's a failure of communication right there, I'd have to say.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's messaging 101 is be consistent with your name. And be probably consistent with the name that's going to be on the ballot would probably be my suggestion.
Yeah, that seems to be within your interest there. One would believe.
I think
he links. I would imagine the person who looks at that website, they're looking for Trucker Bob on the ballot. It's like, where's Trucker Bob? Oh, vote for Trucker Bob.
Trucker Bob, baby. Go for all in for Trucker Bob.
Yeah, I mean, Trucker Bob, he apparently got his start. He's running on a ticket with a guy named Zoe Warren, who
that sounds like another nut job.
They just repeat "We the People" a lot. I don't really know what is it like a conspiracy code. Like they just say like they just keep saying like they bold like on everywhere they say "We the People," they capitalize "We the People" and then they bold it every single time they say it. And it was like, and it's like.
No, you see, it is code. It's like a coded phrase now because it's like we are bigger patriots than the rhinos, which is everyone who's not us. So,
here's a video of him talking about the Second Amendment on the Capitol.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't really know this guy.
Yeah, they're holding "We the People." Yeah.
Yeah, "We the People." I don't really know what the deal was. His name is Trucker Bob, but also Harrison Musselwhite.
Go on the Trucker Bob.
He spells his lieutenant governor. His first name is Zoe, all capitals, which is
interesting. And then wait, you know the disclaimer. This is the bottom of the website. This is fantastic. This is the greatest thing. It says at the bottom of the website, "We do not support or condone political violence, and we denounce all forms of racial supremacy," as like a disclaimer at the bottom of the website where you would normally put like paid for by like so and so. Like I don't condone political violence.
Oh no, actually, his lieutenant governor candidate is black. That may actually be like a legitimate part of the campaign.
Well, maybe, except it's just weird. You would put it down all the way at the bottom and be like,
the bottom,
put, like the legal disclaimers. Like, why are you putting it where you would put a legal disclaimer that's like, by the way, like just so everyone knows, we don't condone
potential questionable outcome.
Yeah. Here's the. I'm Harrison Musselwhite on the issue space. I'm Harrison Musselwhite, but my friends call me Trucker Bob. I'm like,
oh no,
this is a messaging problem. Change your name to Trucker Bob. That would be a good way to get what you want on the ballot. Just change your name to Trucker Bob.
Trucker Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. But folks, it is 8:00 Eastern time. Polls have closed in parts of Maine and crucially in Texas's 34th congressional district. Polls have closed. Luckily, Texas is a place that is known for counting ballots relatively efficiently. So, dear Lord, we need some results. We are results starved right now. So we need some results, and we need them right now. So right now it is, as I said, is 8:00 Eastern time. Polls have closed in parts of Maine and in Texas' 34th congressional district special election. I'm going to throw it here to Kraz first. I want you to kind of talk about the dynamics of this special election, why it's kind of come up on this radar here.
As obviously the certified Texas resident on this panel, I will say that the reason this has come up is because this is only a Biden +4 heavily Hispanic seat. It's a seat just like the rest of the Valley seats that shifted heavily towards Trump in 2020. Being Biden +4, it was also basically in line with the country as a whole in 2020, which makes it an interesting seat to watch. And I think this election is going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us, where are Republicans with Hispanic voters right now, right? Are they maintaining the support they got in 2020? Are they improving?
Mm-hmm.
Are they lagging a little bit down ballot, as sometimes happens when you first gain support at the presidential level? We're also going to see, this will be a pretty good indication of where Biden is nationally, right? Like, we've seen a lot of special elections, but a lot of them are in really deep red districts, really deep blue districts. Those have their own kind of weird dynamics going on. But here we're going to get a clear-cut Biden +4 seat. Both parties took this race seriously. There's been some not exactly confidence-inspiring quotes from the Democrat, basically implying that, we might have a moral, he was saying, we might have a moral victory here or something like that. So I think Democrats
a moral victory is rarely an actual victory.
Yeah, so those don't really count in politics. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. But it sounds like if you're Stacey Abrams,
close also means you can say the election was stolen from you and then fundraise off of it for the next 4 years preparing to run for governor.
These days, close means that you can say you were cheated by a shadowy conspiracy. So maybe we
the shadowy figures from the behind the curtain, the shadowy figures from behind the curtain. But folks, let's welcome back Dylan Wade back to the studio tonight. Welcome back, Dylan.
One thing I want to
Dylan, I don't know if you've missed this, but we basically have nothing in from South Carolina currently.
But I heard the rice was cooked. I heard it was fried.
Hey!
No, we did. I don't know if you're watching. We did learn about the opposition candidate Henry Mcmaster, who is Harrison Musselwhite, also goes by Trucker Bob. His website is surprisingly normal for. Like as far as he just screams like it is literally. I read through it. It just screams like Tea Party challenger. Like one of his things is like fix the roads. Like yeah, that's pretty good. South Carolina roads are abysmal.
I think
if you cross the border, you'll tell the difference.
I think he's primarying like it's 2010, like he's running like a 2010 primary. Actually, speaking of roads though, you'll appreciate this, Eric. My professor was telling me that if you want to try it, drive between Louisiana and Texas and close your eyes when you're about to get over the border, and you can tell the instant you cross the border because of the way the roads change.
Oh, even easier. What you got to do is you go to Charlotte, you drive past Carowinds, so Carowinds Avenue, you drive past that. You will notice when it goes from North Carolina to South Carolina, it'll be visible, it'll be hearable as well. You'll be able to hear when the roads have changed. North Carolina roads are really good.
All this tells me is that we need more infrastructure spending, right, Eric?
I would trade worse roads for a lower gas tax right now, but that's just me. I'm also pretty proud of our roads, though. Like, they're pretty good.
Yeah, you're talking
nice.
Talking about Pennsylvania here. We don't even need roads. We just drive as we go. Damn, we say damn the potholes, we say.
Ooh, some additional results. DDHQ, Lancaster County, 49% for Mia McLeod. She's still down by 40 points statewide, though. I think it's pretty clear the corridor she's doing really well in is this Florence to Lancaster area.
That was a fun couple of minutes where Cunningham was losing, though.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm trying to see if I'm
just kind of scrolling through the South Carolina results and the nothing. I really want to see more from the first. I'm disappointed the first isn't coming in faster. South Carolina is usually pretty snappy.
So I'm a bad host and haven't been listening. Did we talk about the LA mayoral race yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay, because we did get some results in for that if we want to talk about it.
Ooh, do we want to? Let's go for it.
Apparently Karen Bass has taken the lead in the overall.
Yeah,
Dang.
she's leading by about 3%.
Dang.
So not all bad things are happening.
Yeah. It's a failing city. Things happen.
Wait, I was looking up some of the other challengers, some of the South Carolina incumbents. You've got Lauren Martell for Attorney General. She posts a quote of the day every day, I guess, to get her try to get in the news. She wants to protect. She wants to protect girls and women from transgender men, but I guess transgender women are okay. She wants to protect the right of privacy, which is usually something you would hear progressives say. And her website
I'm glad she supports birth control.
Her only issue on her entire platform is medical freedom. That's it. There's no other issues listed on the issue.
So not even like an election was rigged campaign, just an anti-vaccine campaign.
Just an anti, yeah.
You know, it could be worse. She could be Mark Burns.
What?
He's running in South Carolina's 4th, and he wants to restart the House Committee on Un-American Activities for gay people.
Oh no! Oh no!
Which is just ridiculous.
That's beyond
and terrifying.
That's awful. That is hilarious, but awful.
Like, that's comic book villain evil.
Hey, I mean, he's getting 20%. What do we think about?
That's even scarier.
What do we think? Okay, Blandford is running for Secretary of State.
Hey, folks, got a cut-off conversation here. We do have a big update in from Berkeley County in the 1st Congressional District. DDHQ is estimating around 36% of the vote in Berkeley County. This is probably not a result that Katie Arrington wants, as she is down 55-42 against Nancy Mace. Mace leads 55-42 with about 36% in Berkeley County. That will probably likely have some election day vote, and the lead we've seen some election day vote now in Charleston as well. That lead has not changed that much for Mace. She leads 67-31. Over
the Board of Elections also says Board of Elections also has Nancy Mace up 65-35 in Colleton County, which is outside the Charleston area. It's a little bit down the coast a little bit, right next to the county.
Right.
Yeah, so that's not good for Katie Arrington. I would think Berkeley would probably be Berkeley and Dorchester, the more conservative northern neighbors of Charleston County. So if she's not doing better there, that's not the result you want to see if you're Katie
Well, she's not winning. She's doing better, but she's not winning that. She's down 55-42. Which
that's a little bit. Again, those areas are those areas.
That's an area like she needs to be winning by like pretty decent numbers, quite honestly.
She'd probably want to be winning it by at this point.
Back in 2018, she won. She did well. I remember this right. Back in 2018, she did particularly well in some of those like exurbs, kind of like Berkeley and Dorchester. Wait, so if she's not winning those,
I'm sorry. Is that 36% or 16%?
That is 36% in Berkeley. We're estimating 16% in total for the two as a whole.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I was a little confused.
But I'm saying that's important because that means that election day is reporting in Berkeley, and that means that Mace is probably holding pretty decently well there right now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be down 22 points if you're Katie Arrington.
Yeah. You don't want to be down if you're Katie Arrington. I mean, this is like, again, if she loses, this is the end of her political career.
I mean,
did she ever really have a political career?
I was about to say.
Yeah, Chesterfield.
But no, I mean, look, we've seen this before. Trump candidates doing a little bit better as results come in. So I wouldn't count her out yet, but that is not a result you want to see if you're her.
Yeah, we got some in from the 7th district too, according to DDHQ. Right now, Russell Fry, according to DHQ, has 44% of the vote. Tom Rice has 27%. Nothing in from Hoare yet, but just to give you an idea of some of these margins here. Darlington County, they're saying 26% of the vote, and Russell Fry is at 49.6%. Chesterfield County, he's at 35%. That's with 33% of the vote in. Florence County, I mentioned Florence is one of the larger counties in the district, one of the probably the larger population center here. Russell Fry has 55% of the vote in Florence County right now, according to DDHQ. Georgetown County, this is a coastal county. right next to Horry County. Russell Fry's at 45% of the vote there. Tom Rice is at 40%. This kind of coincides with my theory that Rice will do a little bit better in Horry. There's nothing in from Horry yet, but like these are very, very bad numbers for Tom Rice. These are like the Florence number in particular is abysmal.
The rice is fried. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And Russell fried the rice. It's not the Shrimpton fried the rice. Russell fried the rice.
Oh God.
I can't judge since I came in here with the same joke, but is it safe to say that Rice was kind of baffling? Like he ran a really baffling campaign, voting to overturn the election and then voting to impeach Trump. Who are you? You're not pleasing anybody like that.
Well, I mean, we talked about that earlier. I mean,
someone made the point. I remember back when he voted to do this, and everyone was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Someone asked like one of his friends, and they're like, "Oh, well, like Tom just like really believes in like prayer and doing the right thing, and like everything will work out if you just do the right thing." And it's like, Tom, bless your heart, commend to you.
Wait, so what was the right thing for him? Voting to overturn the election, or voting to impeach the guy who tried to overturn the election?
Some people are easily swayed. I don't know what to tell you.
We have our first results in from Texas.
Yes, we do. I'm checking to see where they're from right now.
I'm going to check the Texas State Board of Elections.
They're from Hidalgo County. Sanchez leads 56-37 over Flores in Hidalgo.
I have overall results. It looks like.
The Texas Board of Elections is saying differently. The Texas Board of Elections has different results.
Yeah, they have Flores. They have Flores up 48-44 with I'm not even. I don't know why I'm struggling with this name. It's not that complicated. Coronado at 5.6. The other day.
They're reporting San Patricio County and Willacy counties in on the Texas State Board of Elections. So I would disregard the Hidalgo County result. Wait for the Texas State Board of Elections. A lot of these early results are going to be a little bit interesting, but this would put right now Republicans at over 50% of the vote in this district. Another Republican, Juana Janey Cantu Cabrera, is at 1.1%. So this is actually very even in terms of which candidate. Actually, Democrats would be at 50. It would be basically 50-50. Democrats would actually be over 50% of the vote here. But yeah, very, very small vote total so far. We don't know how this is going to go.
Wait, New Jersey has more elections today? Why?
Do they?
Oh, just state elections. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw.
We don't care about those today.
No, we don't. I mean, they're New Jersey local elections. They're gonna go to the party.
Exactly.
Party always wins.
Yeah, dude.
Party always wins. It's New Jersey. Establishment always wins.
Do people get like county lines in those? Like, is it like
yes?
Is that
you
thing?
get county line.
Oh my god!
Is there? I have to ask about. Is there such thing as township lines for these?
I don't know.
You know, like the township party decides we're gonna endorse these people, and that's who our candidates are gonna.
Wait, who decides who gets the line?
The county parties. So
could you like stack the county party with like your supporters and then get the line?
That is literally how the Norcross political establishment works in South.
No, but I'm saying like if you were like a rando, like you're like an insurgent candidacy, right? And you're like, man, this sucks. Like, could you just like try to like win a bunch of like local precinct board elections and like stack the?
So in 2020, Hector Orsuega got the county line and got one of the county lines in New Jersey, in New Jersey's 8th, I think.
Okay.
He still lost because he didn't win any other line except one. But I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe he actually did win the area that he got the line, even though he was running against an incumbent.
Personally, I just think every state should be like Pennsylvania, where they just list the county you're from.
I think
Yes.
every state should be like
Yes.
Pennsylvania and
Be
how we
more
count our
like
votes.
Pennsylvania. Be more like us.
We should count our votes like
Be more
Pennsylvania
like-
too.
I just think it's
More.
completely hilarious that it's like you have like hedge fund manager David McCormick crushing it in like Greene County, like Washington County, and then you have like very like shady like MAGA Kathy Barnett crushing it in Montgomery County. Like it's like
We have another.
Yeah, and then
update.
you have noted conservative extremist Muslim son of immigrants. Mehmet Oz doing really, really well in Scranton.
yes.
We have
in
another
Philadelphia.
update, and Texas is 34th on the election board website.
Oh, good
It
stuff.
has Flores up 51 to 41 now.
On
the election board website, and this is with results again still from Kleberg and Kleberg County, San Patricio, and Willacy counties. So all three of those counties have results in.
Okay, we have
According to the-
more results in from Berkeley now. In South Carolina, these results have narrowed substantially here. Mace is now only up 49 to 47.6
That's
right now over Arrington.
Right.
About 65% of the vote in reporting, according to DDHQ in that county right now. Those
that's
are
because-
significantly better numbers.
That's because Arrington is only losing Berkeley by two percentage points.
That's what I was talking about. The Berkeley numbers are in.
Yeah.
That's a better number for Arrington. If another dump like that comes in and she wins Berkeley, maybe she's not completely out of this.
The problem here is that 65% of the vote from Berkeley is already in, and Charleston only has 19%, and there's nothing from Dorchester, and then a bunch of these other areas around it. So she would want to be winning again. She'd want to be winning Berkeley,
right? And that's what that's what I said. If another dump comes in like that and narrows, and the margin shifts like that again, she's not out of this.
Oh, here we go. We got some results in. Give me 1 second. Go back to the State Board of Elections website here real quick for the seventh district, the Tom Rice seat. All right, so they have results in from Horry County, and it is not what you want to see if you're Tom Rice. Russell Fry is winning at 47 to 31.
Rip.
Yeah, so I would put an F in the chat. Press F to pay respects for Tom Rice.
Yo, Joe, play him out. Play him out.
Oh, hey. Wait a second. Hold up. I gotta get my stuff ready here. We'll play him out.
This
All
is
right.
my new favorite tradition.
Here we go. Gotta get the volume up. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, he's been playing
Jonathan
all-
Reitenberg is in the chat and says it's not over yet. There's a runoff.
Oh no, he's done.
He's done.
It does not
He's
matter.
out.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
He's out.
It's over. It's over.
Like, yes, you're right. There's a runoff. He's going to lose by a bigger margin.
This is like Steve Palazzo getting 35% in his primary and then being like,
Yeah.
I support term limits, and being like, dude, you are term limited anyway. Like, do not worry about
you have
it.
been
Like,
term limited. There is an election and you lost. Your term is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, so Tom Rice, honestly, I gotta say, at some level, respect for going out in the most baffling way imaginable. With some of the most
Like-
baffling votes I've ever seen from a politician, which is really saying something.
I can't even call it principled. It's just weird.
Yes.
So weird.
Like, I don't get. How do you have those two conflicting principles at the same time?
Well, did he vote? He didn't vote to overturn. Did he vote to overturn the election before
did.
the riot?
No, the vote happened after the riot.
Yeah, but like I thought there was something before. Like I thought there was like something before that happened.
I don't think they finished the vote.
No, but I thought what happened was like they had like voted on one state at some point. I forget the timeline here. I slept through the first part of the morning, but like I think maybe there was something there, but I don't know if he voted. If he voted to set aside certain states' results after all that happened, I mean, yes, that would be baffling.
All right, here we go. We got some
Oh.
results coming in from let's look at this here, the
Texas.
34th district. Yep, right now. So right now, Dan Sanchez holds a Hidalgo County results now reporting on the Board of Election website. Dan Sanchez is up 49-43. I believe he's winning the Hidalgo County portion here. Let me look at this. Looks like he has about 800 votes total compared to 531 for Flores. You can do the math there. That's pretty good margin for Sanchez right there. Elections Daily. Decision Desk is reporting actually results in from Cameron. Sanchez is narrowly winning the Cameron portion, 47-46. And according to them, he's leading the Hidalgo County portion by 19. I think it's actually coincide with the Board of Election website results mostly. According to DDHQ, it's 48-45. So lead for Sanchez. So that's what it's reporting right now. This is definitely close to that territory, though, where either candidate could, win votes and avoid a runoff here. Because those minor party candidates are only taking about 7% of the vote.
Well, New York Times has it as Hidalgo. I mean, I'm just more wondering, are these mail-in ballots?
I think these are mostly early votes.
Early numbers.
Yeah, that's not great if you're Sanchez.
Yeah, these are all early votes so far.
If you're only winning the early vote, which is more Democratic by about 2%, and a county Biden won by 13 points, that's not ideal.
Yeah, according to the Board of Elections, these are all early votes. Every single one.
Well, in fairness, Democrats are getting about 53% in Cameron combined. But if this is early vote and election day is more Republican, I don't know if it is, but if it is, that'd be pretty bad because Biden won this county by 13.
I mean, it usually is more Republican.
So, if all of this stayed, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's maybe I don't know. Let's see. Because right now Republicans are winning the combined vote in Willacy by it looks like, or they're actually Democrats are only barely winning it, and Biden won it by 12. So
that's not.
I actually think Republicans will be on pace for a pretty solid win.
Oh,
if these were the numbers.
I do actually want to mention something. Oh, sorry, go right ahead.
No, all I was going to say was, given that this was a special that Democrats had all but given up on, not a horrendous performance.
Well, again, this is a Biden +4 seat. This is something you want to be doing better in, though.
Agreed. Not a good result. Not horrendous.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to talk about the South Carolina gubernatorial primary. Again, Cunningham is up by about 31 points. However, there is a decisive Mia McLeod corridor here. She is winning a York, Lancaster, Chesterfield, Florence, Darlington, Dillon, and Horry. Marlboro and Marion don't have anything in yet. Basically, she's winning everything stretching along the North Carolina, down from the Charlotte suburbs to Myrtle Beach. The problem is Cunningham is winning everything else, and there's nothing in from Columbia yet. I mean, again, he's still leading Charleston, 82% of the vote there. He's winning 83% in Berkeley, 77% in Colleton, 85% in Beaufort, and then also winning a bunch of black belt counties, which me and McLeod should be doing better in, along with a bunch of rural counties. So not a good start for me and McLeod. Although she does have a base of support very clearly. It's stretching down from the North Carolina border, but that's not enough to win for sure here. Yeah, I'm going to be going back and forth between the Texas Board of Elections and DDHQ because the Texas Board is usually pretty good at reporting results. They'll sometimes have some stuff in. They don't have anything from Cameron on their website, though. But yeah, everything here is an early vote still.
Yeah, all early vote. I wonder what the Hidalgo portion was. Is this the old Texas 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hidalgo County is, let me look up the Texas. There's not a ton of it in Hidalgo County. It's stretching along the border, obviously. Yeah, there's only a little sliver. Yeah, there's only a tiny little sliver of the vote of Hidalgo counties, and I think it stretches up a little bit to McAllen.
Yeah.
It has basically all of a bunch of rural counties. Cuts off of some basically in the rural counties it takes in there are Hispanic portions in them pretty heavily, but there's not a whole ton of Hidalgo in the seat, so I don't think Hidalgo's a huge chunk here.
It's not necessarily.
It kind of stretches from Reynosa to McAllen.
According to Daily Cost, actually, Democrats are basically hitting their Biden numbers in Hidalgo, but at least as far as I can tell, they're basically behind, like by 10 points everywhere else. I think behind Biden numbers.
More votes on the Texas Board of Election. B County results.
Yep.
Myra Flores has taken the lead back.
Yeah.
50.6 to 42.7. This is from B County. B County is one of those areas north of Corpus Christi, very Republican area. But the website's also not reporting anything in from Cameron County yet, though. Gonzales County has some results in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's another 10-point shift right in B, if my math is right.
Yeah.
So, and this is early vote, so I think,
Republicans are going to pick up the seat, maybe.
I think Flores is a strong chance to flip it tonight, because if you're looking at 10% shifts pretty much in most of these counties, apart from Hidalgo, granted, and you think that election day is much more Republican, like it's hard for her to not hit it. Like I just think she'd be hitting 50.
Yeah, she can, absolutely. So I think it's worth noting Tom Rice is about to come in under Madison Cawthorn's margin. He's about to underperform Cawthorn.
That's tough.
This is what we would call an epic fail.
That's really rough.
Yeah.
That is what we consider.
Yeah, that's a big. This is either a big oof or an epic fail, depending on what generation you're a part of.
Be like me. It's both.
Wait, what's the generational divide there, Eric?
Big oof.
No, my generation had epic fail. The Gen Z, they like big oof.
Okay.
I thought we did F in the chat. You dip. I thought we did.
I remember both. I'm like straddling that age line. I remember.
I like both, but yeah, Gen Z really brought on the big oof.
I like F in the chat. I think X. F in the chat. Press F to pay respects. I think that's pretty good.
I've
enjoyed that one for a while.
That has stood the test of time. That's one of those memes that's gonna be around for quite a while.
Are we? I'm thinking when we do like real election night, like for real, we should do taps for every incumbent that loses. Like we should do.
We will.
Absolutely.
Taps,
we're going to be doing a lot of taps. You might as well just play
a shot at tequila.
Soundtrack.
Taps and a shot at tequila.
No, look, we can't do we can't have the robot like we can't have the robot like Australia has. I love what they do with their elections. Though they had the sending them off to Cuba, that video.
No, what I like
so good.
Personally, my favorite by far is the UK, where they make all the candidates stand up there in a line, and then they like read who won. And like they just like have to like sit there while like they lose, and like it's so funny.
And then they have to listen to the winner give a speech. Like they have to stand there and listen to a winner give a speech.
And then of course like I remember watching in 2019.
There's a joke candidate. Usually there's like Lord Buckethead or some other.
There were so many.
Put some respect on Lord Buckethead's name.
Wait, there were zoning districts in 2019 where it would be like they were turning off, like, oh, like Labor incumbent. 19,000 votes, and like you'd hear like people go like, yeah.
I want to as much as I'm enjoying this, I do want to give a quick update here. In the first congressional district in South Carolina, that primary, good news for Nancy Mason, Dorchester County. DDHQ is estimating about 52% of the vote is in Dorchester. Mason's up 61 to 37 there. Over Arrington.
That's not good for I didn't want to say, I was not disrespecting Lord Buckethead. We are actually mutuals on Twitter. Lord Buckethead follows
us.
So
yes.
I'm not disrespecting him.
Yes.
Wait, I was saying,
You're
and then
lucky.
They do that thing where like they say the first person, they say the incumbents totals, and the crowd claps. They say the challengers totals, and it's higher, and you just hear the crowd go nuts. Like it's like a sporting event. It's so funny.
Yeah. I'm actually followed by Sweet Meteor of Death too. Sweet Meteor of Death has followed me for.
Oh, we love Sweet Meteor of Death. We do love our Sweet Meteor of Death.
No, I mean, honestly, though, we do need a robot here. It's just,
Do we have the?
But
You can't really do
anyone
one
like
from
part of
who is
the appeal
officially
is that
listening. Dylan is asking for funding for a robot.
I am asking for funding for a robot.
What's our graphics? What's our graphics?
We could do a
budget?
swing-o-meter. I think we could at least do a swing-o-meter. We could develop something
No,
for
it's
that.
so many statistics. You
No,
want me
that's
to?
too nerdy.
Well, we got the live results in 2020. We got the live map.
No,
Yeah.
we
Here's
need
what
to
we
come
should-
up with something
what
more
we should do.
creative.
What we should do is that I want video graphics again. I for real election night, I want video graphics again of like the flashing numbers and stuff, and I want music. I want like an intro video with music again, and the music needs to be the Hockey Night in Canada theme. Since I'll be leading the way, I'm gonna make it be the Hockey Night in Canada theme because it's a good theme. I'm gonna play it here.
Oh my God, no! We're gonna get DCMA takedown notice. Like you can't play
No. This is okay.
Stream.
This is not the official song.
We're gonna get like permaban from Twitter now. It's gonna be like this. Gonna be the end of us.
Here we've got here. Let me see. I think this is a good one here.
We should just do we should just cop off the ESPN primetime music. Just not like steal it, but like make our own sound-alike versions of that.
Yeah, exactly. No, wait. I think I want live results again. Like I gave my buddy like a 6-pack, and like he made us that code for the 2020 races.
That's
and, like,
true.
That was great.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty cheap buy.
So like that'd be great. I love doing live results.
Katie Arrington has now taken the lead in Berkeley County. We're estimating about 78% of that vote in there. It's again, basically the result of change is 49-47 now for Arrington and Berkeley County.
But the problem is Mace is now at 56-41 in the district, so that's not really.
Yeah.
And again, like
I do want to say that the number they're also saying about just under 80% of the vote is in Berkeley as well.
Yeah.
So,
but what I was going to say, the reason the UK can have these satirical candidates is because everyone has to stand up in a line. Here, like you had the like D's nuts joke candidate, right? But like, was there a line where D's nuts had to stand up at and they were reading out his vote total? No,
Eric, we
Well,
could have had a meme candidate. Santa Claus was right there. We were so close.
I did think the Santa Claus thing was pretty funny.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
We were. We were closer than Disney Star Wars was to greatness.
Look, no, we have meme candidates in this country. You just have to look for them, right? Like this is why I kind of like looking up these random primary challengers because like inevitably they have like some of the funniest shit in the world on their websites. Like every once in a while.
Yeah. Oh, we had a primary challenger to Patrick McHenry, who I can't remember his name, but he was this year. And like he a big part of his platform was he was going to donate all of the money from Congress to schools to buy school supplies. That was like the number one thing he was putting out there. It was like, of all the things to like, that's like the big thing is like, yeah, Patrick McHenry is bad, and I'm going to donate all my money to schools because he's a doctor. Like,
that's a strategy. Like, okay,
it didn't work. You got 20% of the vote.
The plan is the plan.
Okay, okay, that's nice. We like schools, but is that all you got?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not great. You need to do a little better.
That is considered a negative outcome, I believe, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so more DDHT results in 15,000 votes in just about. Myra Flores up 47-46. Let's look at the results here. B County 66%. Flores is down 2% in Cameron. Nothing in from DeWitt.
Jonathan Reutenberg is offering to compose music for us. All right.
Oh yeah, he composed our old theme. I think, for the World Tonight. It wasn't the World Tonight. It was the old elections weekly theme.
Hey,
it was quite good. Yeah, I think these results are still mostly early vote. Oh, Flores is up to 46% right there. And then on the Texas election website, they have how many votes in so far?
Still the same amount as last time we looked.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Changed. What was Gonzalez?
Also, your mutuals with Santa Claus on Twitter, I'm kind of jealous. No, stretch that. I'm a lot.
You get some weird mutuals sometimes. Remember that weird period of time where Richard Ojeda followed me? I think he may still follow me. I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure. I'm going to check to see if he follows me.
I'm followed by Campus Reform, which is really strange.
Oh, that's a weird one.
Yeah, reminder that for before I was the editor-in-chief of Elections Daily, I was probably most notorious on Twitter for really disliking labor unions. And Richard Ojeda is like the #1 advocate of labor unions. Actually, I think Richard Ojeda deleted his Twitter. Richard Ojeda. Where is it?
Wait, Eric, I thought you loved labor unions.
He still follows me. Yeah, Richard Ojeda still follows me.
I thought you loved labor unions, Eric.
Chris Arnond actually followed me for a little bit too, which is really weird.
Really?
Yeah.
So looks like we have no, never mind. I'm sorry. That was old results. Also, can someone tell me why Lindsey Graham decided he wanted to go debate Bernie Sanders in an off year?
Because
he thinks he's really important.
Like,
he's gonna be president one day. Haven't you guys figured this out? He's gonna be
like, I get why Bernie's doing it because he just wants to talk about his issues, but why is Lindsey Graham doing it?
Because Lindsey Graham still thinks he can be president.
Yeah, I was going to say
never had a prayer of being president.
No, there's a lot of Republican politicians who really thought they would have been the nominee in 2014. Lindsey, like this whole string of them.
Lindsey Graham's only function in 2016 was to eliminate Rand Paul.
Lindsey Graham is a very sort of enigmatic politician in a lot of ways. He's clearly very popular with voters. He does pretty well with voters. A lot of base Republicans don't like him, but he's generally a very solid conservative on pretty much everything aside from two things: immigration and judicial nominees. And he's much more conservative on judicial nominees now. Like, what I mean judicial nominees, he takes very seriously the idea that elected officials, presidents, should be able to appoint pretty much anyone they want to be judges, to be, to be whatever. He takes that pretty seriously. As long as someone's qualified, he'll confirm them, unless they're a Supreme Court nominee, in which case he's pretty much said no to that at this point because of the what he's been through, what he's seen. But I think he thinks of himself as some really important conservative thinker figure. He's also single. He's not like married. I don't think he really has much of a home life. So, like, I mean, you can go out and debate more easily, like this sort of stuff. I really don't know. He's sort of a weird guy. I mean, yeah, I really don't know. He is an unusual figure. Ooh, this is not good for Mia McLeod. She is losing the original vote by 19.
Wait, I do want to say, can we all look? I want to make this call again. I'd like to make this call again. Can we all look at the primary map between Mia McLeod and Joe Cunningham?
Yep.
Can we?
Okay. I'm gonna make a bet right here, right now, that the counties Mia McLeod is winning lined up with roughly the out-of-state media markets.
That sounds about right. Yeah, you're right. Because for example,
Charlotte, Wilmington, Augusta,
yeah, Aiken County, for example, Aiken County is part of the Augusta media market.
Oh goodness.
Greenwood County is really small. Jonathan Ruttenberg said in the chat, both of South Carolina senators are unmarried. I think they're the only state with 2 unmarried senators, which is interesting.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Tim Scott was like, wasn't there a rumor he was like, kind of.
No, that was Lindsey Graham. That was.
No. There was the rumor that Tim Scott was he hanging around with Kyrsten Sinema? Was that the rumor?
Oh, there's a rumor? Oh, I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear about that either.
No, maybe I'm mixing up. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. So according to the South Carolina, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I thought Sinema was friends with Andy Barr.
Yeah, she's good friends with Andy Barr. Like, legitimately very good friends with Andy Barr.
Interesting. That's an interesting. That's like
an interesting combination there. Considering
Andy Barr.
Like, I will say this: Sinema is very, very friendly with a lot of Republicans you would not expect a Democrat to be friendly with. This was the case in the state legislature. This is the case as a senator right now. She has a lot of very unusual connections that enabled her to amazingly pass legislation. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. She's a Republican.
But so some good news here. Good news in the first district for Katie Arrington. 95% of the vote in from Berkeley County, and she is winning it by 4%. The bad news, she's losing every other county that's reporting so far. And
I was gonna say Berkeley's like pretty exurban and pretty conservative. Like she's probably gonna be winning that place by more than
she's
4%.
losing Charleston by 30. For comparison, she's losing Carleton by 31. She's losing Dorchester by 23.
Yeah, is that
nothing from Jasper
election day votes?
That's
I'm not sure. I mean, this is like 95% of the vote-ins for some of these, so presumably.
Oh, well then, yeah, that's gonna have some.
That's DDHQ estimate. You never know what that actually means, but that's DDHQ estimate at least at this point.
All right. Oh, Texas Board of Elections has gone ahead of DDHQ in vote count. Now, Myra Flores, 47.6%. Dan Sanchez, 45%. Let's look at the counties in so far. And it's still all early vote. Oof, big oof.
That is a major oof.
Yeah, that is a... Yeah. For comparison here, I believe in 2020, Avila won the early vote in Cameron County by 22 percentage points.
Well, Avila was also an incumbent and better.
Oh, go right ahead.
Yeah, according to the New York Times, we have some results in Maine's 2nd House District Republican primary.
Ooh.
And ex-Congressman Bruce Poliquin is currently losing 60-40.
Oh wow!
With granted only 400 votes in, but there are some small towns that are like mostly like there are some small towns that are mostly reporting and like he's losing them. Like actually, unless these are test results, like he's losing some of these like pretty bad.
So was Poliquin the establishment choice?
So I'm about to look up his challenger. This will also tell us if they're test results. If she's okay. Liz Caruso for Congress.
I saw signs for her when I was in Maine.
She does look like she's from Maine.
Yeah, I was in Maine this weekend, and there were only Liz Caruso signs up.
She's proud of being a homeschool mother.
Okay. That could go either way. It's Maine.
It's Maine, yeah. She's big on freedom, everything. Freedom from critical race theory, religious freedom, freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, protecting life, stopping human trafficking, enforcing election integrity.
Oh, cool! She's an election truther.
Let's get to priorities. See what she's all about.
That's great.
The gun thing is genuinely big in Maine, though. Like rural Maine does not like gun control.
No, they don't. But Jared Golden agrees.
Okay.
Garrett Golden says, "Gun go pew."
Yeah,
she
Jared
wants
Golden
to
says,
stop.
"Gun go pew."
Here are priorities: stop big tech censorship, create jobs and economic opportunities by reducing taxes and regulatory burdens on small businesses, protect Maine's lands, fight for fiscal responsibility to balance the budget, secure the borders, although interestingly, no mention of the wall. Just says secure the borders.
Wait, hold on. This is important. Does she want to secure the Canadian border?
Oh, yeah.
So she probably wants Canadian refugees from the tyranny of Justin Trudeau to be able to come across freely.
Here is kind of an interesting plank. It says support domestic law enforcement with accountability.
I'm confused.
Fight for our veterans and support free market diversified energy solutions. I don't know. She seems like very normal.
She's okay. Literally, other than the election integrity stuff,
right?
Seems like a normal Maine Republican to me.
Someone in the chat says CNN has Poliquin up by a lot now. I don't know what the deal is. New York Times has him down 60-40. I don't know if like there's some big town that's going to come in and give him a bunch of votes.
I think if any incumbent in a competitive seat's going to survive, it's going to be Jared Golden.
You think?
You think he's golden?
Oh,
I think he has weird. Okay, Maine likes weird politicians.
Maine,
Jared Golden,
very true,
very weird. Bruce Poliquin, not very weird. Jared Golden supports, doesn't like Build Back Better, but likes Medicare for all.
Counterpoint. Angus King is like the most unweird senator in the Senate.
I don't know.
True.
And Susan Collins is aggressively unweird as well.
But Susan Collins is so unweird that she's kind of weird. Like, Susan Collins does the whole horseshoe.
I'm always suspicious of politicians that advance that far, and then it feels like they never talk. You know, it's just like they just like.
So Angus King.
Angus King, yeah.
He's a interesting fellow.
He
Because
is
like his
interesting.
entire like when he ran for Senate, he at first said that he was going to not caucus with anyone, which
Right.
was absurd. That was ridiculous. That was never going to happen because if you don't caucus, you don't get a committee assignment. Then later he implied he could caucus with either party, and he caucused with the Democrats because he agrees with Democrats on more things. But he was like, well, I could caucus with the Republicans in 2014. And then 2014 comes around. He's like, well, no, I don't want to caucus with the Republicans because that would mean there's no Democrat in the Maine caucus, and we need a senator from both parties. And then he's just kind of been a Democrat ever since. It's kind of odd.
So wait, hold on. I'm sorry. So if Jared Golden beat Susan Collins in an election, would Angus King become a Republican?
No, he would very clearly not at this point.
You say that, but that's a really weird thing for him to say otherwise.
I will say it would be an excellent meme if like Golden were to beat Collins, or when Collins retires, if King is still there, and then King for like his final 2 years in office just goes all hardcore, like last
Becomes
I think
an
I guess
election
4 years in
truther.
office, just like hardcore.
Yeah, he's like becomes like a stop the steal guy. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No, the even bigger meme: Jared Golden beats Susan Collins, and then Paul LePage comes in and beats Angus King.
Oh,
Senator
good
LePage.
old Paul.
Good old racist Paul.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a racist.
I'm pretty sure he complained that black people were coming to Maine and having kids.
Yeah,
He's a weird dude.
That's pretty racist.
He's a
Yeah,
Quebecer,
I don't-
basically.
I don't really know
His
if I can
cultural
defend
sensibilities are actually quite similar to other French Canadian, to French people. I'm not saying all French people, but I'm saying the ones that live in Quebec have
I'll
some
say it.
particular
All
views
French people.
on
Yes,
things.
thank you, Eric.
All the French people.
I will say French people are not particularly known for being race friendly to black people. Having
Well,
been to France.
anyone that's not French, like
Yeah,
There was that poll that said like
Jews,
60%.
Algerians, Eastern Europeans, Africans, like everyone.
Yeah.
There was that poll that said that 60% of French citizens believed in the Great Replacement theory. Which
Wasn't also like
not great.
40% of them wouldn't want to live next to a Jew.
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
Oh dear.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there was a poll.
yeah. Paul
on-
LePage compared the IRS to the Gestapo.
Well, I don't know if that one's that bad. I don't know. I spit on the IRS every time I walk by the building in DC. I do spit on the sign just for good measure.
No, that's pretty bad though.
That is pretty bad. Unironically, that's pretty bad. Also, unironically, I do spit on the IRS sign every time I walk by the building in DC.
And I believe that, Joe.
Even VeggieTales hates the IRS. So that's the only time they've ever gotten political. It's the Christmas episode. Basically, it's the best episode of VeggieTales ever. The best song. Larry is waiting for Santa, and he invites in a bank robber and a Viking to his house, but he does not let the IRS in. The IRS opens the door and he shuts it on him.
Eric, I can never tell if your VeggieTales standing is ironic or not, and it's great.
They're good. I enjoy VeggieTales. It's pretty.
Hey.
The humor's pretty good. The old shows.
Hey, I can't judge. I watched the original Star Trek.
Yeah, but no, like literally, like that's just always stuck out at me. It's like that's why I dislike taxes so much. As I watched that episode of VeggieTales as a kid.
Oh, so since we have nothing going on, Kraz, to continue our discussion from like 2 weeks ago about how Democrats don't have anyone to run for president. New article apparently out saying Democrats don't have anybody. They should run Oprah.
Yeah, I feel like
That's
it's
always
like
been a
like,
thing.
oh, like let's run The Rock, let's run Oprah. Like I feel like that's like the Democratic Party says that like every 4 years. And someone now I'm seeing stuff that's like they should kick Joe Biden to the curb, and it's like, oh my God, people are getting really.
Let's kick the incumbent president to the curb in favor of gestures to an empty field.
Also, like, I think it's funny when people are like, damn, like the Democratic Party should kick Joe Biden to the curb. Like, do people understand like how American political parties work? Like, I think it's like the Labour Party in the UK where you can just be like, we don't like this guy anymore, and some like tiny cabal of insiders can just like kick the person out. Like, that's not how it works.
No.
Like, I think what's funny about this too is like there's some tiny cabal of insiders.
I'm just now reading this Paul LePage quote by someone who put it in the chat. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah,
oh
it's
no,
bad.
That is
it's pretty bad.
That's
pretty bad.
That might be more than just regular French person is racist bad right there. That's
pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't know it was quite that bad. That's really bad. But
it's
no,
really terrible.
Yeah, no, Paul LePage is racist. I'm willing to call that. But no, I mean, no, Democrats can't just kick Joe Biden to the curb.
I think it's funny, like, even if there was a small cabal of Democrats that could, like, everybody who would be in that small cabal really didn't want him to win in 2020. Like, everybody in that small cabal wanted Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren, so, like, I don't think that's how it works in American political parties.
Yeah, and once again, I asked the question, kick him to the curb in favor of who?
Beto. Yeah, Beto. He's gonna... The guy who's about to lose to Greg Abbott by 10%.
10%?
Yeah, 15.
I was about to say, if he only loses by 10%, maybe we should run him.
Yeah, would you have any more? Let's see if we have any more results coming in.
I don't think we do at this point. Not right now.
We have some. The margin in Texas shifted a little bit. 48-45 in favor of Flores.
48-45. I don't see it on. Do we have it on D?
And it looks like. Did we talk about the other results in from South Carolina 1 with Nancy Mace up statewide 54-44?
Yes, we have.
Okay, I can't remember. These results come in so quickly now.
Yeah. Myra Flores, yeah. I mean, I think she's got, Virginia Choose has 67%, and so that's actually a lot closer because New York Times has it only as like 38%. So I guess depending on who you trust there.
Also, since we're here, can we talk about Alan Grayson?
Oh, he's running again?
Yeah, he decided he wants to run in that new majority-minority Florida 10.
That's interesting. I mean, Grayson is very much like a run for something guy. You know how like in politics you have like just like the run for something guys who just like they just like need to be running for something at all times. Yeah. I think Alan Grayson is that guy.
Alan Grayson is that guy. He dropped down from his doomed campaign against Val Demings.
Yep. I think it's like those guys in the pickup basketball games where like they just keep chucking threes, you know, and it's like you are not Steph Curry. That's all I can say.
No.
Yes.
I don't know anything about basketball, but I agree with what Kraz said.
Yeah, just agree with what Kraz said there. Just agree with it.
I agree with what Kraz said.
There you go.
Let's see if we have anything interesting coming in. I'm kind of just waiting on Nevada, which is a bummer because it's not going to be in for like another hour.
Yeah, Nevada. Okay. When Nevada comes in, we can talk about how dumb their gerrymander was.
We already did.
Yes.
Yeah. We already did, yeah.
Really dumb gerrymander. It sucks.
I kind of want to ask here, just as like, an interesting thing here. I just want to ask, like, what do people think about what was I saying? What like Amy? I want to kind of hear Dylan's folks on Amy Valea, and what kind of that would be if she were to beat Dinah Titus in that primary tonight. I kind of want to hear Dylan's thoughts here.
Okay, I have complicated feelings on Valea. I have friends on her who have worked on her campaigns. I also have and who really like her and still support her. I also have other friends who worked on her campaign who said she was a terrible boss and would be a terrible representative. Dinah Titus, honestly, like, I don't know much about her. The little bit I've seen, she's fairly uncontroversial as far as progressives go. She supports expanding the Supreme Court. She supports all the Democratic priorities. I mean, Valea running isn't bad. I don't think she's going to win. She ran a pretty unremarkable campaign in 2018. I believe she ran again in 2020. I could be mistaken.
No, she did not.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't think she holds a seat if she wins. But I don't know that Titus holds the seat at this point.
So what
Thanks,
you're suggesting
Nevada
is what you're suggesting is a bad idea to not stretch a seat from Reno down to Las Vegas if you wanted to have 3 Democratic seats.
Yeah, that was a really dumb move.
Truly the most unbelievable gerrymander I've ever seen in my life. Like, actually, like, I think this tops the Missouri House when they were drawing 2 Democratic districts, and someone asked, like, what the chair of the redistricting committee is like, why aren't you drawing like 1 Democratic district in St. Louis and just like gerrymandering Kansas City away? And he was like, well, like, the election results we've seen, they're not normal. Eventually Democrats are going to come back, snap back in the state. You know, this has really been an anomaly the last few years. And it's like,
No.
how are you the
not
redistricting
going to
chair?
happen?
Like, what? Like, you, what? Like,
I would love that.
like, he was like, yeah, like, these last few years have really been an anomaly. Like, we can't gerrymander, also backfire. And it's like, what are you? I think it's illegal in Missouri. So what are you smoking? Like, it's like truly unreal. Some people are in charge of this.
Yeah, I don't know what the Nevada Democratic Party was thinking, but congrats, you played yourselves.
Maybe they just like really like a Modi or something, and they wanted to. But that didn't make any sense. He could run in a red seat. It's not like he's like that controversial. He could run in a red seat and win.
These South Carolina results. Oh, okay. There's more in here. Hold up. They're still coming in really slow. South Carolina, get your stuff together.
Okay.
Here's there was more for Berkeley, actually. So Berkeley's actually now. Berkeley, Arrington actually has a very strong lead in Berkeley now. She's at 51-46 because the majority of the votes in from the district right now are from Berkeley. That means Mace is only up by 7, but again, we expect this to change. Berkeley County is not the majority of votes in this district, and it's the only county that Katie Arrington is leading in.
I mean, Mace has been a fairly smart incumbent. I don't agree with all the choices she's made, but stopping short of impeaching Trump might have actually saved her.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if she's this close without it.
Again, it's going to widen out. She's winning Charleston County by 30 points right now. And Berkeley is almost entirely in. That's the reason why the results are so close right now, is that Berkeley County has reported by far the most results so far.
Hold on. Plot twist. I'm sorry. In Texas's 34th, Cameron County election day results were better for Sanchez than the early vote.
Huh.
In the first 18 precincts that came in.
Yeah, but where are they from?
I don't know. Don't you know, Kraz? I get all my election news from Twitter. They don't provide nuance.
They, yeah, I think these might be from Brownsville, or potentially a more kind of Democratic area, because that would be certainly quite surprising if he was doing better in election day votes than early votes.
Mace lead 52-45 now. Yeah, that's
Mace lead has
Berkeley.
gone back up to 53-44. I think more dropped in
Berkeley.
somewhere. Yeah, more dropped in from Charleston. She still leads 63-36 there in Charleston County.
Yeah.
So lead for Mace
Again,
back.
Berkeley's almost exhausted at this point. It's not looking good for Arrington.
Yeah, I mean, if she can close the margin in Charleston, maybe.
No,
That would also rely on her winning.
Yeah,
she's not winning Dorchester either.
How much of Dorchester is in?
52%, and Mace is up by 23% there.
Yeah, she'd have to win Dorchester. Like, she can't just come closer in Charleston and barely win Berkeley. She'd actually win.
Beaufort is the last one that's going to be important. The last big county or somewhat big county, and so that would be kind of important. Beaufort starts to come in, but yeah, these are not the results you want to see for Katie Arrington.
But good news in South Carolina 4th. The guy who said we should restart the Un-American Activities Committee for Gay People is only at 21%.
Oh,
that's higher than it should be. But thankfully, he won't even make the runoff because the incumbent's at 56.
That's kind of wild.
I know where people are saying that the election day is coming from Cameron County because the Board of Elections still says that all the results are early votes from Cameron County.
I don't know. I mean, the results have changed.
I would say there was a change, but maybe people took that as election day.
Yeah. The website still says that all of the votes in from Cameron County are early votes so far.
We should probably just wait there on that one because.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, to be fair, it's also saying all the votes from every county so far are all 100% early votes.
Which would be weird.
Let's go back and look at the 7th district again, just to see how bad things are getting for Tom Rice, America's most inexplicable congressman.
The man is not doing too hot.
Yeah, one could say he's down bad. Right now, he's losing 47 to 25. Honestly, at this point, I'm not even sure you can test the runoff because, like, that's really bad.
Embarrass yourself like that?
Yeah, like if you're an incumbent congressman polling 25% in your primary, good luck.
Even Madison Cawthorn knew when to throw in the towel.
Yeah, and he was the cocaine sex orgy stuff. I mean,
yeah, that man had more common sense.
Are we gonna play taps for Katie Arrington when she?
I don't know. We're gonna wait on. We're gonna wait on that. We're gonna wait.
She doesn't deserve taps because she never had a political career to begin with.
Well, she was a state representative in Dorchester County. Put some respect on that name.
Yeah. Totally don't just want another excuse to play taps.
Taps is great. It is very funny that we can play it for the end of political careers.
I really wish we could have played it for Poliquin.
Yeah, that's a bummer. He's gonna win now. That would have been actually hilarious if he lost.
No, it'll be even funnier if he loses
if
he loses the Republican primary because of ranked choice voting.
He can't two candidates.
I know, but it would still be funny.
Yeah, his win's not very overwhelming though. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, he's doing. I mean, I can't. New York Times. Let me zoom in. Of course. But like
the Times website is awful.
He's just getting such big wins, well, both in the Francophone areas and around some of the cities. He's getting big wins. His opponent, like Caruso, seems to be doing better, like mostly in like very rural, kind of like out there areas.
Mm-hmm.
And to be clear, I was pronouncing Beaufort wrong. It's Beaufort, not Beaufort. I apologize for this error, and I'll try to do better in the future.
How dare you?
Unbelievable. Well,
the Greta GIF.
You're from.
No, if I really wanted to insult South Carolinians, I would say their mustard barbecue is garbage, which it is. Their mustard-based barbecue sauce is disgusting.
Oh dear.
What happened?
You good?
We're going everywhere there.
Wait, what?
Oh, I thought we were talking about dissing the mustard sauce.
Yeah.
Why are we dissing I like the mustard sauce. I've tried mustard sauce before.
What?
It's pretty good.
No.
Mustard is bad.
You guys ever had the mayo sauce?
Like you got Cubanos and mustard sauce. Mustard sauce is good. You put that.
You guys ever had?
That's some good shit.
Have you guys ever had the mayo sauce?
No, I'm not going to have the mayo. That's Bama white trash right there.
Yeah, that's
you never. No. What? There's two valid ways to have barbecue, and one of them is more valid than the other. You have your ketchup, you have your Western North Carolina barbecue, which has that specific sauce, and then you have the Eastern one, which is the less good version, which is the whole hog and the vinegar-based sauce. It's less good, but it's still better than any other state. Those are the only two valid ones. Everything else is an imposter. Barbecue.
I kind of disagree. I really like Texas barbecue.
That's brisket. That doesn't count. That's a different.
What?
I feel like I need to come to North Carolina.
I went to a place called Slaps in Kansas City on our cross-country road trip for barbecue. And let me tell you, that was some slapping barbecue.
Yeah,
that was.
I like barbecue chicken. I like barbecue chicken, but I would not classify it as the same thing as pork barbecue. Yes, I've irritated the resident South Carolinian here.
And you do very tasty things to it. That's all that matters. That's barbecue.
Yeah, I don't
even really like sauce on my barbecue. Honestly, I just eat it plain. Just chopped barbecue.
That's kind of some psycho shit. Not gonna lie.
Well, have you seen the man? He looks a bit like a psychopath sometimes.
I mean, like, I'm just saying. I think you're a little harsh on the diversity of barbecue.
I'm with Kraz. The diversity of barbecue is like burnt ends, ribs, pork, brisket, chicken.
See, I think if you really
those are all barbecued meat, but barbecue is only pork. Those are all barbecue meat, but barbecue is only pork.
No, barbecue is everything.
No, barbecue.
Oh, we have results in from Texas 34. Flores's lead up to 48.5 to 45 over Sanchez.
Do we think what like ballots came in? Do we know?
I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know how. I don't know how to check the counties.
I think if you're going to insult a South Carolinian, you have to say that North Carolina is just like Carolina. You got to just call it like Carolina with no other context.
Oof.
All right. So we got, let's see, anything interesting going on? Poliquin still it looks like he's going to win, but it's a pretty underwhelming win. He's up 59-41 right now.
That is the Poliquin way.
The Poliquin way. I mean, I think if he wins his primary, he wins in November.
I do think Golden hangs on, but you would probably be right.
I like all these. I like how you go over, if you go over like the New York Times map for Maine second, like everything is like there's like a bunch of like unnamed unnamed blank township, especially in like the northwestern part of the district. Like you just like go over, it's like unnamed township, no vote data.
They have
available.
no people. They have no people.
And that's funny though, because there's like no one there. Obviously, I
always love township D. C surplus. Like so like welcome to township D, where you can like where you choose your family. Like it's like it's like some dystopian.
I feel like
here, let me pull up an actual Maine map I made, because I made a Maine map. I went through surgically and extracted all of the township data to kind of come on. Just trying to load up my preview here. I got the everything loaded up onto the map. And so much of Maine is literally empty, places that nobody lives in. It's kind of crazy. Like there's no other area on the East Coast that is as unpopulated as northern Maine.
Ooh,
It is not a place people live in.
Update from South Carolina 7 from Horry County. Fry is winning the new votes, apparent according to Steve Kordacky, with 53%.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
dear.
over. That's actual runoff of winning threshold. But like, look at how much of Maine has literally no people, and so many of these towns up here have like 2 people. Have like they're unnamed to have like 1 person or 2 people. Like these are 80%. These are listed as over 80% margins because literally like 1 person lives there, and they voted 1 to nothing against gun control.
That is
like one guy who has a shotgun.
God
He's
bless
like,
America.
this sucks.
God bless America.
So, question: how does a person in a town of 1 get their vote in?
You mail it.
Basically, what it seems like is they either mail it or they have to, or their vote is actually merged with another township. That's why finding township data is so difficult, because a lot of the smaller townships will actually vote in a different area.
That's really funny.
And then it's like it was a pain to find all this. I actually like marked all these areas blank because like some of them had like, if you just mark them, like all these are square. These are all like basically square townships. I would say like at least like 33 to 40% of the state is like no people in it, literally no people. It's just a forest that nobody lives in. It's pretty crazy. And then there's those French areas up in the north that are like, they're not urban, but like they're less nothing than the rest of the district or the rest of the state. Like there's literally, North Carolina has townships. We have 3 or 4 townships in the entire state that have no people. One of them is an area that used to be part of it, that used to have people, but they all left when the Great Smoky Mountains Park was made. That's in the mountains. One of them is literally a lake. Like the entire lake is considered a separate township. One of them is like a forest that's owned by a state university that is a research forest. And then one of them is literally like the Army testing facility right next to Fort Bragg.
New results in from South Carolina first. Arrington closed the margin in Dorchester, bringing it to 54-44. So statewide,
I do want to give an update here that we have a similar update in Berkeley, and actually Mace closed her margin by about a point in this latest update. It's down to 50-47 now.
Yeah, so the state margin is 52.3 to 45.6.
Yeah, so that didn't change all that much because she got a good drop in Berkeley. Interesting.
Yeah. More on the topic, though, I wanted to show the areas with no people, if you can see it right here. This is the Fort Bragg. This is the testing facility right here, right next to Fort Bragg. This is the literal lake over here. That's a lake. This is like a just area with nothing in it. And then this is like some of these other actually no, these are all uninhabited. So the yellow ones are the yellow ones just have no data. And then this is like the area that's just like this is literally a river. I don't think anyone has ever lived here. And then this is the area that's a ghost town that used to have people, but they were basically evicted when the state purchased the Smoky Mountain. The government purchased the national park.
So, sorry. Other results from the 7th. Fry brings his lead up to 49%.
Oh my goodness!
He might avoid the runoff.
This is beyond a big oof at this point.
That's a major oof.
Yeah, this is I can't think of a term to describe how bad this is for Tom Rice.
We might have been
terrible.
too generous. We might have been too generous giving Rice the taps.
Yeah.
Does a 25% does a 25% margin really deserve taps?
It doesn't in hindsight.
Joe, is there any way we can retroactively take away his taps?
No.
That's disappointing.
If anything, we should play taps harder.
According to the Texas Board of Elections website, Flores is now up to 48.7% of the vote. Sanchez is at 45. That's again really good for Sanchez or for Flores, not very good for Democrats. The website is still oddly saying that almost all the votes are early votes, though. I'm not actually seeing any. Oh no, there's some. Okay, so there's some non-early votes in.
So we have the first results in.
Oh
from
God.
from Beaufort County.
Uh-oh.
What are the results?
It's literally only 17 votes. Katie Arrington.
Oh, we've had those.
Oh,
yeah.
Boo!
So,
I was so excited.
Give an idea. So let's give an idea of the election day versus the early vote in B County, which is a very conservative county. So Myra Flores is leading in the early vote. They're 441 to 190. Counting the early votes, she adds another 380 votes, and Sanchez only adds 80, less than 80 votes, or like 90 votes. Yeah, so that's a pretty substantial shift. Same thing for Goliad County. Sanchez led the early vote there 154 to 36. With all the votes so far, 394 to 76. So she adds 150 votes while Sanchez adds 40. That is very bad. Hidalgo County. Oh, Hidalgo County actually has some. I'm actually not sure who that benefits. 531. So Sanchez leads us 800 to 531. That's a gap of about 270 votes. With the total votes in, that expands to about the same margin. So actually, there's not really a margin shift there. Yeah, she's basically gaining in early votes in counties that have, or election day votes that have election day votes. And it actually looks like Goliad County is all in. At least according to the Texas Board of Elections.
We are so close to Nevada.
Oh yes, we are less than 45 minutes out to Nevada, folks. That'll be but let's go for Eric. Can you give us a recap right now, kind of what we've seen so far tonight so far?
No big surprises so far, aside from Tom Rice doing absolutely terribly. I mean, again, this is such a bad performance. I would genuinely wonder if Rice even decides to go to a runoff. There would be basically no point to it. It would seem to be a futile gesture. As expected, Nancy Mace is leading Katie Arrington in the House race. It's not decided yet, but the margins outside of Berkeley don't appear to be very good for Katie Arrington, who's the former candidate for the same seat in 2018, who lost. And then in Texas 34, Republicans appear pretty well positioned. Myra Flores is leading and is doing better in early vote than in election day than early votes. There's a reasonable chance she finishes above the threshold needed for a runoff, which is the 50% plus one vote. It's kind of hovering on it right now. We got to obviously see some of these election day votes come in, but based on what I've seen from some of those other counties, she's doing much better in them in the election day vote than in the early vote.
Honestly, if I was Russell Fry, I'd probably just up and concede at this point.
You mean Tom Rice?
Tom Rice, excuse me, not Russell Fry. Tom Rice, obviously.
He should
there. But
Russell Fry should concede with 49%.
Yeah, Tom Rice could concede with Rice almost at 49. This is like a well, it's not like a Van Taylor situation considering the text messages that came out from the Van Taylor situation, but yeah, I wouldn't even want to go to a runoff at this point. If Fry, especially if Fry finishes barely under 50%, 49.8 or something like that, I would just say, you know what, man, you're the nominee. I'm done. Let's not waste the money in 2 weeks. So
it's not worth it. I mean, do you really want to embarrass yourself further? I mean,
could be fun.
Fry could honestly win 60-70% of the vote. Easily. Oh, we have lost Eric.
Oh dear, we have lost Eric. Kraz is asleep. Oh dear, that means I have control now. Okay.
Why don't I
Dylan-
ever get control?
Because I've been here longer than you.
No.
What was I going to say? Anyways, while we wait for for Eric to fix his technical problems, and and Kraz is back. Okay, and Eric has also fixed his technical problems.
Do you guys want a quick
There we go.
laugh?
Sure, we'll go for the quick laugh. What's a quick laugh we have?
Do you guys remember the People's Party?
In Canada?
Yes.
No, the People's Party, the one that Nina Turner and Cornel West were briefly
I didn't
part
care
of.
enough. I didn't care enough about that. What's up with that?
They are getting behind a Jimmy Dore presidential run in 2024.
What?
Jimmy.
Jimmy Dore's been talking about running for president, and the People's Party is trying to draft him to run on their ticket.
Oh no!
We live in dumb times.
Oh no!
I mean, who's
Questionable-
his
questionable
vice
actions
president
there.
going to be? Is it going to be Sank Uger or
Oh, they
Anna
hate each other.
Kasparian?
Wait, he's not the president?
What? The People's Party is trying to draft Jimmy Dore to run for president.
Fascinating. Who's Jimmy Dore?
The YouTube
Angry
comedian who was
YouTube man.
former Young Turks lefty who now says Trump and Ron DeSantis were the free speech anti-war candidates, and that you shouldn't trust the COVID vaccine because corporations are greedy. He's basically doing anti-vax, and Ron DeSantis supporting from the quote-unquote left.
So, well, maybe he's the median voter. I mean, I was just saying, you know.
Now, Kraz,
do
I
we
want
know
to get
what
your
the
opinion
median
on
voter
something.
is at this point. I don't think we know what the median voter is at this point.
What are
We don't know, but I wanted to ask you: does this line up? Does this Joe Cunningham meme cloud map line up with your theory about media market, out of state media
you want me
markets?
to look up media markets?
Yeah, go right ahead. I want to see the comparison here.
I'm so positive this is going to line up.
No, that lines up. Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait here. I have to share my screen on this one.
No, that lines up perfectly.
Wait, let me see. Yeah, here. Wait, let me share screen. Let's do. Where did I put it? Okay, here. Chrome tab. Here we go. Share. Okay. Do you all see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It lines up perfectly.
Like perfectly, right? I'm not like seeing things like this is perfect.
No, that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. This media market lineup that happens all the time always convinces me that money actually is very important in campaigns.
Try
Absolutely.
telling that to Nina Turner.
Nina Turner just spent her money poorly. The fact that Nina Turner had a fundraising lead and couldn't win.
That's called That is called what is that? Bad return on investment.
That's called bad campaigning. That's not called money. That's not called money isn't relevant. That's called Nina Turner doesn't know how to spend her
According
money.
to Texas Board of Elections, Myra Flores is now up to 48.9% of the vote. Dan Sanchez at 44.8%. We have additional results that are coming from Cameron County. Or no, I think it may be Cameron County. There's no early votes or no election day votes, but just across the board, I would assume, just from what I'm seeing, that she is doing better in early vote or election day than the early vote, which would not be surprising at all, given
that would line
trends we've seen. That being said, there is a Republican taking up 1.5% of the vote, who is not Myra Flores. That would be kind of interesting if this is forced to a runoff, but we'll see.
Yeah, the media market thing is always very funny because it's like, it's just like, it always just lines up so. I kind of wonder why. Like, if you're in an out-of-state media market, what makes Mia McLeod like very appealing to you? Like, why are you like, yes, absolutely?
I mean, I don't know what makes Joe Cunningham appealing, to be honest.
Well, I get that more because ex-congressman, like there's at least like something there, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess.
So it would appear we actually do have some results in from another county. Katie Arrington, or no, let me check, make sure this is correct. So again, the Mesa's up by 9 over Katie Arrington right now, still, according to the Board of Elections. Yeah, I've been seeing people saying that Jasper County had results in for Katie Arrington, that she was leading there. Jasper County has basically nothing in the district. It's not a big part of the seat at all.
It is right by Boat. How do we say it?
Beaufort.
Beaufort.
County,
You like Q. You like, yeah. What?
Beaufort.
Yeah, Beaufort is right by. It's the part right by Beaufort, so that's why I would be concerned slightly.
But on the other hand, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I had something unrelated.
Never mind.
I was just going to talk about, since we have nothing else, I was going to talk about some races I'm watching.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Really, the only major race I'm watching is Illinois 7th. Danny Davis is running against Keena Collins, a Justice Democrat-backed candidate. Really, the most interesting thing here to note here is that Keena Collins is outspending Danny Davis. And not insignificantly, she's outspending him by about $300,000. And she was just endorsed by the Chicago Tribune. So something interesting to watch there. I don't know. I'm struggling here. Nevada needs to come in.
We still have 30 minutes before the polls close. So. Someone in the chat said, unrelated, Daily Beast just reported Herschel Walker has a secret 10-year-old son and has never met him.
Oh, dear.
And their reporting is pretty extensive. They have court records. They have payments he made. Their reporting is
just run an ad. Like, I feel like people are too nice about this stuff. Like, it's like, I feel like if you get this, you just have to run an ad that's like deadbeat dad, Herschel Walker. Like,
the problem is if you go after Herschel Walker on this, Herschel Walker is absolutely going to go after Raphael Warnock's personal life, which has some unsavory allegations as well.
Well, yeah. Sure, but like, I just think it's like, this is like, it's hard to think of something like, looked at worse by voters than being like a deadbeat dad who has a 10-year-old kid you never see.
Yeah, like, look, I think Walker's going to go after Warnock's allegations anyway. And
I mean, I've said this.
I don't think he'd be wrong to.
I've said this like multiple times. Like, this is going to be probably the ugliest election of the cycle.
Yeah,
like both Walker and Warnock are going to go all in against their personal issues that they've both had domestically. And like, they're both going to go all in against them, and it is going to be nasty, expensive, and ugly all in one for this campaign. Like, we are going to be tired of this race. Like,
I already am.
From what I'm seeing, South Carolina Board of Elections appears to be saying, most of Berkeley County is reported. They're saying 85. Can
you share this screen, maybe, Eric? Could you share this?
Yeah. So let me show the precinct map here of Berkeley County. There appear to be a few outstanding areas in Berkeley County, but it seems like it's almost all out or all done. Green areas are completely done reporting. So these are, and I think these are, they're saying basically 91% of Berkeley County is in, is what they're saying for this, basically.
50 to 47, yeah. That's the margin we have right now.
Yep.
And then if you look at Charleston County, quite a bit of it has nothing reported. Yeah, there's nothing reporting from quite a bit of Charleston County. They only have 33 of 79 precincts reporting. They list them as counties, but they're precincts.
Yeah, that.
Let's look at Dorchester.
That could go either way.
Yeah, a lot of stuff adjacent to Charleston that's not reporting yet from Dorchester. And then Colleton County. There's not much in from Colleton County. There's only a little bit, this little sliver in towards Charleston. But they're saying basically about 17% of the state is completely reported. And then there's partial reports from 43%, and then no reports from about 39% of precincts, is what the website seems to indicate. Myra Flores is over 49% now, according to the Texas Board of Elections. 49.1% of the vote. Early votes, she's leading by 250 votes about. And then when you add in the total votes, so the total votes, she's leading by about 900 or 850 votes. So among election day votes, she's doing much better than the early vote.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what we were expecting, right? And if she keeps up that pace, I think she's going to clear 50%.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say fairly easily clear 50%, but she should clear 50% if those margins keep up, where she keeps increasing, that proportion. Because only a 200 vote difference in the early vote, and then you add in those total votes, and it's tripling, and there's not a lot of them. Like for perspective, right now, there's of the 9,426 Flores votes, 7,256 of them are from early voting. And then among the total votes for Sanchez, 8,584 total, 7,209 of those are from early voting. So, I mean, she's gaining a lot more among the early vote or among these election day votes than the early votes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're less than 30 minutes out to polls closing in Nevada.
Ooh, what?
Yes, Eric, what do you got?
I'm just checking the governor to make sure, because it looks like Trucker Bob may be ahead in the county according to a decision desk, but I think this may be an error.
We'll see how much that's I don't know how accurate that
is. They're listing Harrison Musselwhite, also known as Trucker Bob, as leading in Abbeville by 80 point margin. I somehow doubt that is accurate.
I love that. I love that Harrison. I love that Harrison Musselwhite is winning a single county against Mcmaster.
No, I think it's inaccurate, because I think very clearly that Trucker Bob is not winning a county against Mcmaster by 80% of the vote.
Okay, but it would be really funny if he was.
We're close. This is oh my god,
be really funny if he was.
I like how McMaster's doing the worst upstate too.
That's typical. That is typical. That's where Lindsey Graham did the worst too.
Why
upstate? They're really conservative, really, really, really socially conservative in general.
McMaster's a pretty conservative guy. McMaster's not some,
It's just in general, upstate tends to think people are not conservative enough.
Right. Well, I see that for Graham. For sure.
Yeah. Maybe there's some, I don't know what, I wasn't really attuned to Henry McMaster's COVID policies. Maybe there's something with that. I really don't know.
Someone, I didn't say this last week because we never really got on it, but Kristi Noem's primary challenger was running on her being too harsh on COVID. She's too tough on COVID.
Poor COVID.
Which is funny for Kristi now. Because I don't think that's how most people would describe her.
Poor COVID. Didn't anyone think about its feelings?
No.
Yeah, this is a pretty good assessment from Eric C., who is from South Carolina. Upstate is a mix of conservative and batshit crazy. That's pretty accurate. Upstate has Greenville and Spartanburg, which are two pretty conservative cities. It also has Bob Jones University, which up until I think the late 1990s didn't accept black students. Or actually it accepted them. It did not accept interracial relationships until the mid 90s. And currently is represented in the House by a gay Republican. So there's a lot of conflicting stuff going on in there. Flores now up to 49.4%, according to Texas State Board of Elections. Has expanded to nearly 1,000 vote lead over Dan Sanchez.
Yeah, I think she's gonna.
I think she's gonna barely clear 50.
We're not projecting anything. I do not speak for Elections Daily.
But
I think she's in a strong position. I'll say.
Yeah, and I think she'll barely clear 50%.
Oh, Bob Jones only removed the ban in 2000. I didn't realize that.
2000. Well, way to ring in the new millennia, Bob. Congratulations.
Wait, what did Bob Bad do?
No, Bob Jones University.
Bob Jones.
Yeah, they allowed interracial relationships starting in 2000.
Oh, that's very progressive.
Yeah, Decision Desk shows more votes than the Texas Board of Elections does right now, and they have Flores at 48.6% compared to 45.3% for Sanchez. But I'm not sure if there's anything missing or if there's anything different there.
Do we have anything interesting from South Carolina's first?
It's basically stuck at like 53, like 45 right now. Like it's been stuck at that for like the last like 30 minutes here.
It's just tough for
the thing is we don't have anything from Beaufort. So
Beaufort.
Beaufort. We don't have anything from Beaufort, so we don't know anything.
That's true. Although I'm kind of wondering how many votes Arrington can get out of there realistically. Well,
I mean, it was pretty pro Arrington in 2018.
Yeah, it was pretty pro Arrington
because right now, New York Times has it at 34% reporting versus like Decision Desk has it at like what
89%,
78. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nancy Mace is potentially questionable right now. I have to say, this is going to come down to Beaufort.
Yes, Beaufort. Got it.
Okay, it's going to come down to Beaufort here.
Keep in mind, this goes to a runoff if no one gets over 50% of the vote.
That'd be
I think someone's going to get over 50.
I think so too. It really just depends on what the election day looks like in Dorchester and Charleston, because Berkeley election day was what, 13% more Arrington? I don't know. I remember the exact number. Oh, we did just get another batch of results from
I think Berkeley. It was from Berkeley.
Yeah, Arrington gains a little bit on the total, but her percentage in Berkeley stays the same. It was a pretty small batch.
Mm-hmm.
I will say,
Fry is now clearing 50%. South Carolina 7.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. This is interesting right now. If you look at the Times, Kraz.
Yeah.
The Times now has Berkeley matching BDH. He was basically all in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. State Board of Elections website also says Berkeley appears to be all in. They have 94 of 94 reporting in Berkeley.
Okay. Wait. So now New York Times is updating. Now they have Charleston 81% in, Dorchester 37%. Colleton 10, but there's like no votes there.
I think she's gonna win Dorchester. The margin shrunk a lot with one
39 to 7. So there's 40 precincts outstanding in Charleston County.
Yeah.
There are.
But those precincts are those precincts those might
This
be.
is
there were
probably going
40
to come
yeah.
down to Beaufort, I would say. This is probably going to come down to that.
Yeah. There are
But
42
also, I want to say that
precincts
the Times first estimated around 19,000 there. I mean, 30,000. They're now only estimating around 19,000 there. So
even if
they're
Arrington
reporting
wins
basically
it-
nothing from Colleton. Yep, I would say that Berkeley's all in. There's nothing more coming from Berkeley. Looks like again about at least over half of Charleston is not reported yet. That's pretty good. Even if Mace's margins drop there, that vote total is going to increase for her because she's going to be gaining votes from that area. We'll kind of see how much those are. Dorchester is going to be important. She's leading Dorchester by about 9% right now, according to the State Board of Elections website.
She was winning Dorchester by a lot more before the last drop.
Yeah, there's 42 precincts left in Dorchester.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. I'd rather be Mace, but I wouldn't feel good if I were Mace.
Yeah, it's weird. The DDHQ shows more results in from Dorchester than the State Board of Elections website does right now. So that's
probably an error. I mean, I don't know if it's showing more votes than the State Board of Election. I'd be pretty willing to call that an error.
I wouldn't necessarily call it an error. DDHQ pulls from
everywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, DDHQ is known to get ahead.
I also want to say, just to give an update, Russell Fry is now over 50% in South Carolina 07. Again. He is at 50.05%. With Tom Rice hitting around 24.8% right now.
That's over because
that's embarrassing.
I don't speak for Elections Daily. He's getting 51% in Horry County. He's getting over 50% in every county, basically in election day vote. And so
it's over. We're just waiting for the official call, but it's done.
Yeah.
I don't know which of your mics that is, but someone's mic is bouncing around.
That's Eric.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
No problem.
If you're a fan of looking at partisan composition of primaries, Republicans are outvoting Democrats 2-1 basically right now.
In South Carolina?
Yeah, in South Carolina, in some rather unsurprising news. What was it in what was?
Yeah, it's South Carolina. I'm surprised there are Democrats left there.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it was a lot closer in 2018.
Republicans are actually outvoting Democrats in Charleston County right now, which is pretty embarrassing.
I kind of forgot. I kind of forgot that Henry Mcmaster almost lost his primary in 2018.
Very funny.
That's very funny. But he did not.
Welcome to being a governor that was not directly elected. That is
you get tons
to happen sometimes.
It's like Kay Ivey's now gotten primary challenges 2 cycles in a row. She wasn't directly elected.
Really weird though is that I actually looked at the map. She actually did worse around Birmingham than everywhere else in the state for some reason. I'm kind of baffled by that.
It's weird. Is what's her face from there?
Lindy Blanchard, whatever she's calling herself now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're basically 15 minutes. Okay, we have a DDHQ update from Charleston.
Okay.
It seems like DDHQ is reporting Charleston's all in. May seems set to win it by 61-38 over Katie Arrington.
So did more votes come in?
Yes. More votes came in.
The margin
now leads county district ride 52.5 to 45.7.
Yeah. Does Nevada count its votes like California? Because if so, we should
No.
just stop now.
No, I think Nevada is significantly quicker, I believe.
Okay, good.
Because I believe Nevada might pre-canvass.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna lodge a protest against continuing this stream if it did.
No, it doesn't count like Nevada.
California.
Yeah, sorry, no, it doesn't count like California.
Nobody counts like California.
Except Pennsylvania.
We don't talk about that.
We could. We have time.
No, I'd rather not. Could we not talk about Pennsylvania?
And Doug Mastriano.
Yeah,
Good
hiring Jenna
God.
Ellis, that was fun. That's going to be.
Oh, he hired Jenna Ellis?
He hired Jenna
Yep.
Ellis for legal advice, which that'll
That's a
certainly,
winning strategy.
that'll certainly be a something.
The Kraken. He's got the Kraken on his side now. There's
Yep.
no way he can.
Well, hey, did you guys see that Lynn Wood came out as a flat earther?
Who
Yes.
the hell cares about Lynn
Yeah,
Wood?
baby.
Fuck that guy. Lynn Wood could die in a ditch tomorrow, and I could care less.
Remember
Probably
when he
shouldn't
ran
say
for
that
South
live.
Carolina
No,
State Party chair? When he ran for South Carolina State Party chair and he lost because he didn't even live in South Carolina up until recently, and like everyone's like, "You're kind of nuts." But yeah, he's a flat earther now.
Moron.
Not sure how the Kraken's fit.
Moron.
Not sure how the Not sure how the Krakens work into the flat Earth theory. But we'll see.
Well, because the Krakens just swim on their side, Eric. They just swim on their side. In the
Wait,
flat
so I
Earth.
have a question. DDHQ for South Carolina 1 has a bunch more results in the New York Times for Dorchester.
Yes.
And they think Dorchester's all in, basically.
Yeah. That is correct.
Okay.
On DDHQ?
On DDHQ. Mace wins Dorchester by about 2 points.
And Berkeley and Charleston. Okay, so basically everything's in except for Beaufort.
Yes.
All of Charleston is in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what DDHQ
Also,
was saying.
DDHQ just lowered the district-wide reporting margin from 94% to 83%.
That's probably
This
in
is weird.
response. Let me see. Let me see what in response that is to.
I mean, the vote totals that, election side is a little bit
They've
behind.
knocked Dorchester down from over 95% reporting
Okay.
to only 91% reporting now. That was the change.
Comes down to Beaufort.
Keep in mind,
right?
there is a third candidate in this race getting about 2% of the vote in the South Carolina 1 primary. So the
I think if this margin is going to be lower than 2%, it's going to be 2% in favor of Arrington at this point.
If you what?
I think if the margin's going to be under 2%, it's going to be under 2% in favor of Arrington.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, how many votes are going to be in Beaufort, though, right? Like, if we take the New York Times number seriously, and there's 20,000 votes, she needs to basically net 3,000.
That shouldn't be that hard.
10,000. If you think they split it 10,000, 10,000, then you add that's like 60%. She'd have to win like 60% of the votes. Almost.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's unlikely, but I don't think it's unreasonable.
No, it's not impossible. And Beaufort was really strong for her in 2018. So I think that it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
$10 minutes, boys. 10 minutes from Nevada. 10 minutes. Calm down. Gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
I think we're calm to a fault. we're probably a little low energy right now.
Low energy.
We need more like segments we can do when there's no results coming in, you know? If anybody has any suggestions for segments, drop them in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll take advice. If you have suggestions or you want to see something from us when we have low results.
My normal fallback would be to talk about movies, but I don't think people in the chat would enjoy that.
Well, what candidate reminds you of Star Wars Episode 7? So
What?
Some good parts, really just a retread of everything that used to work better. You know, who reminds you of that?
Eric Swalwell?
No, he's not a retread. I'm talking like someone needs to.
No,
be like copying.
No, but he's like a retread of the guy he beat in the primary.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I was going to suggest
he does it all worse.
Not Bob Menendez, but Robert Menendez.
That's a good.
Who just won his primary to Congress.
Just as boring, but way less talented. Yes, there you go.
That is a good call.
Someone says talk about campaign ads. Actually, not a bad idea. I love watching campaign ads.
Oh, here. I think I have a great campaign ad to show.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it live here. Once I get it loaded up here,
we're gonna turn into a reaction channel.
And then I have the campaign ad that everyone needs to see because it is the greatest campaign ad.
I think me and Eric might be talking about the same campaign ad. I think here. I think me and him might be talking if my computer cooperates, if my computer doesn't like try and collapse on me here.
Ain't nothing's going to beat the Blankenship ad.
Well, no, the Blankenship ad was hilarious. Okay, Eric, I think let me see if I can bring it up here. Hold up here. Eric, I think you need to bring it up. I think you're going to need to bring it up, Eric.
Which one are you thinking of? Because I want to make sure.
I'm thinking of the Judo Man. Are you thinking of Judo Man?
Judo Man? No, I was thinking of the Paul Newby ad.
Oh, yeah. Show the Paul Newby.
Yeah, put up the Paul Newby ad.
Yep. Because this is so basically Paul Newby running for state Supreme Court, a job that has nothing whatsoever to do with prosecuting criminals. I don't know if everyone will be able to hear the audio.
We can't.
Hear the audio?
No.
Here, silent. Everyone else silence each other.
Yeah, wait.
I have an idea.
Eric, the problem is that the audio is playing through your headphones.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds awful on my end. Does it sound awful on your end?
No, that sounds painful.
Yeah, that was pretty painful.
Yeah.
No offense, Eric, but you're whatever's wrong with your actual computer microphone, it kind of sucks.
Yep, dang, I can't get it to work. But yeah, this is basically like even if you can't hear it, like you can at least see it.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
That's fantastic.
So I think I actually have a solution here. 1 second.
No, I think the better question, honestly, is which candidate reminds you of the prequels?
What character? Like, do you think the prequels are underrated, or do you think the prequels are like terrible and like a travesty?
Oh, guys,
they make better one-page synopses.
What?
Than
here, hold up. Okay, hold up. I gotta share the screen here. But I think this will work if you all mute. I think mine likes it better. But let me see if mine will. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rich Moon for Congress ad.
In a world where corruption reigns, where freedom is crushed, where America is under siege, and our future rests in the hands of tyrants, one man has risen from the darkness to defeat the evil forces of the left and save our nation from destruction. Rich Moon, a mild-mannered pharmacist and businessman by day, Moon built a national company from the ground up. From humble beginnings, Rich Moon lived the American dream. But the dream is under attack. A pharmacist, Moon beats disease. A businessman, Moon beats the odds. And a third-degree black belt in judo, Rich Moon will beat whatever stands in his way. As government forces plot to take our guns, defund our police, indoctrinate our kids, close our churches, and then open our borders. Rich Moon will never give up. Rich Moon, bringing the belt to Congress.
What on earth?
But I'd like to say, Jonathan Reutenberg points out that Myra Flores is now leading in Cameron County after a bunch of election day votes.
But no, I'm sorry. We have to talk about that ad. We just have to. I'm sorry.
We actually have a race call first. We have a race call. DDHQ has called the gubernatorial primary for Joe Cunningham, who will proceed to the as the Democratic nominee. He'll proceed to the general election to face Henry McMaster, where he'll be publicly sacrificed in brutal and unrelenting fashion.
Cool.
Just like apparently everyone who goes up against that Rich Moon in judo, apparently.
Wait, who is Rich Moon and what was he running for?
He's running for in the new New York 23rd district.
Okay.
He's just some guy, to our knowledge.
Yeah.
But apparently he has a lot of money.
Guy. He's
And
a
he made that ad.
He's Batman.
Except he used the Captain America shield with the prescription symbol in the middle as the logo.
He
No, actually, you know what the best?
know the difference.
You know what the most forgotten great campaign ad is Patrick Morrissey dropping the mountain on DC ad in 2018 in West Virginia. It's one of the most ridiculous campaign ads I've ever seen.
Do you guys remember after the 2018 primary, Morrissey talked about an announcement? Did he ever say what his announcement was, or has he left us hanging for 4 years?
I don't think he ever announced anything.
Yeah, he said big things are happening. Announcement soon.
Stay tuned, and then it was just like nothing.
Yeah. Joe, that was amazing.
I thought that'd be good.
Somebody
From
TE.
Oops.
Go ahead.
What are you reading?
Myra Flores, just full results from Gonzales County. It's a small county, not a big deal.
TE Grolls wants us to turn into a Hearts of Iron 4 channel.
I've never played Hearts of Iron. I played Civ. I played a Civ 6.
I feel like if
a lot of
we're
Civ
gonna
6.
do a politically themed game, it needs to be Stellaris.
No, it's got to be Total War.
Total War would work too. Age of
That'd be
Empires.
Risk. We could do Risk. Yeah, any sort of conquest game. I think Civ would be pretty fun to see at Elections Daily Civ match, but that would take a while.
I would play Civ with y'all.
We should play what is it? Risk. We should play Risk.
Yeah,
I'd
Risk would be
unironically start a Twitch channel where I talk about politics and play Civ.
Honestly, you know what? I have the best version of Risk, the Star Wars prequels Risk, which is really
of course
fun.
you do.
Yeah,
That is the most on-brand thing I've ever heard, Eric.
It's really cool because it's got like the really ridiculous part. It's got this Order 66 meter. So like basically the Republic has an advantage numerically, but it has an Order 66 meter, and the further along the game goes, the closer it gets to Order 66. And basically, when Order 66 happens, the Republic troops get decimated, obviously, but the Republic can still win. There's still ways they can come back and win. Basically, that's the big buff. Like basically, the Separatists are kind of down for most of it, and then they have that big Order 66 buff and become the Empire, and the Empire can basically take over.
Unironically, let's play that on election night.
Yeah, I've got it here. Actually, I'm going to grab it out of my closet.
Yes. Yes.
Where is it? No, where is it? It might be my
All right.
house.
Okay.
No.
It happened. Folks, it is 10 p.m. Eastern time. That means polls have closed in Nevada.
This is what
Nevada,
happens
Nevada,
when you.
whatever it is.
This is what happens when you
Kraz,
leave
what do
us
you
up
say?
to our own
How do you say the
devices.
state?
Nevada.
Nevada. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm right.
Nevada.
Polls have
No, I
closed
think
in Nevada.
my brother may have taken it. My brother may have taken Star Wars.
Boo.
All right, let's see if we get any results from Nevada.
Oh, we have new results in from South Carolina's first. Dorchester.
I don't know where.
Dorchester margin has shrunk. Mace leads 50-48 in Dorchester.
That's been the case for a while.
Really? Because it just
DDHQ still has the
updated.
DDHQ still has the margin. Actually, it has the margin expanded to about 53.4% for Mace, 44.8% for Arrington.
And wait, I don't know where those votes came from.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I assumed it was Dorchester and somewhere
Charleston?
else.
Well,
Maybe Charleston?
No, because Charleston's almost all in.
It's not Beaufort. No, Charleston
it's
still
not.
has Charleston's listed at. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was listed at before.
It was listed
Again-
at greater than 95%.
Well, no, it's Charleston because New York Times they were in sync. New York Times has Mace leading 8,700 votes to 5,400, and now DDHQ has her up 10,700 to 6,500. So she just netted another like 1,500 votes. If I'm doing my quick math right, yeah, out of Charleston.
Yep. So the big one here will be Beaufort. How Beaufort goes.
Because if she's up by almost 4,000 votes before Beaufort comes in, if Beaufort has 20,000 votes, she would. Yeah, Arrington would need 60%, assuming she doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know who TJ is. Yep. We might have to add TJ to this. To the risk or the Civ game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I
All right,
always go when
I
I
play Civ with TJ.
not to spoil myself, but I usually go for either the science win or the science win or the culture win. I've not really done the military win because I find that boring.
I like the culture wins as well. But I've also found the only way to get a religion win is to play Russia.
I played Poland and got a religion win. I think it was either Poland or
Yes for Poland.
yeah. I think it's who is it? The Hedwiga, the king of or what's her name? The Poland's female king.
Oh, I don't know. Eric, I'm so sad.
Hedwiga.
Harrison Musselwhite's county win
His
has
county
been
is gone.
reversed.
Yeah,
It's
That's
over.
a great politician name, though. I really want to see him. That's a great politician name, Harrison Muscle.
It's just a great name.
I don't know why you would go by Trucker Bob when your name is Harrison Musselwhite. I mean,
I'm sorry, Dylan Brown, terrible name. Harrison Musselwhite, great name.
Oh, well, you'll like this, Kraz. Your theory about the media markets, again, it's basically continued to perfectly line up with reality. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here.
Yeah.
But it's continued the...
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Ridiculous.
I don't know how it always lines up so perfect.
The margin has shifted again in South Carolina first. Mace back down to a 3,000 vote lead, 53.01 to 45.2.
What
the question is what that's from.
I don't know what came. I'm looking now.
It's going to be. It was Dorchester. Arrington has the lead in Dorchester now.
Oh wow!
Yes, she does.
So the question is how Beaufort votes and how many votes are there.
Yeah, If Buford comes in good enough, she's got this. Arrington. Be really
How many
funny.
votes are estimated? How many votes are estimated to be in Buford?
20,000.
20,000.
I think that's what.
That
Kraz
seems a
said.
bit high.
Well, that's what New York Times says. They've been kind of off with their like.
Buford has 187,000 people.
Okay,
All
how
of
many
Charles,
How many votes in
all of
2020?
Charleston in the Republican primary is 17,000 votes.
Well, so how many votes did Buford cast for Trump in 2020?
Buford cast 53,000.
Yeah, so 20,000 is not unreasonable. Usually in these high turnout primaries, you see about
A third of presidential turnout would be reasonable.
a third.
Let me
But
see how
also,
many
I
votes
think
were cast in Charleston, though. Charleston, 93,000 votes for Trump. That seems, I would be really doubtful that there's 20,000 votes in Buford. And we'll see, but Trump got 93,000 votes in Charleston last time. Let me see, Dorchester.
yeah, so that's kind of interesting because if Trump got 93,000 and they're only getting 17,000, then that makes me think that because like I remember when we were
Well,
doing
what about Dorchester?
Dorchester was 92, or Dorchester was 42,000 votes.
It's only it's only part of Dorchester. It's not the full.
So about 10,000 out of. I mean, maybe Charleston turnout was just low.
Well, it depends on the portion of the district, right? I think there's a portion of it, and then Berkeley County is 57,000 votes. So we'll see. It just seems a bit high if it's 20,000. I mean, we'll see, but I don't know. This seems a bit on the high end for me.
that. It seems a bit high. Remember when we were looking at Pennsylvania, those counties were casting about half of Trump's total votes in their respective Republican primaries, which made me think like, oh, like maybe it's half. But yeah, I don't know. That's yeah, it's tough.
I don't think 20,000 is unreasonable, but I mean, I guess I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, like we'll see. We'll obviously see, but that just strikes me as really, really, really high.
Right.
And let me see how much of Beaufort is in Beaufort. Sorry, Beaufort. God. This is a North Carolina thing exclusively. At North Carolina, South Carolina, just getting this wrong. Because we have Beaufort, which is also on the coast. So it's like also really easy to forget. Yeah, all of Beaufort County is in the district. So all of Beaufort County is in the district, as opposed to.
How many votes did Beaufort cast in 2018's Republican primary? That might be a good. Might be a good estimate.
Yeah, it's actually not terrible.
I'm going to go back to 2018. So in 2018, I'm just going to grab governor and lieutenant governor. Oh, no, that's the general election. That's not the.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
2018 statewide. So on the Republican side, I got the Republican results pulled up. It cast about 18,000 votes in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so 20,000.
That's in the realm. That's in the realm of reasonableness, and that sounds reasonable.
What is this?
Yeah. Oh, we were
Beaufort.
trying to figure out how many votes would be in Beaufort.
I just want to say the Times it was that big drop we saw from Mace was from Charleston.
And then we just had another drop from Dorchester.
Yeah, I know about the Dorchester drop. But the Charleston drop now bumps up their total vote number to around 17,500 votes. 17.5K.
Yeah. So 20,000 in Beaufort isn't unreasonable if it casts 2018 in a high.
The Times are now estimating 16,000 in Beaufort.
Okay.
Okay, that's also not reasonable. So yeah, if there's only 16,000, I don't know that Arrington can pull it out.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
she
see.
needs 3,000 votes. It's still like a 60-40, right?
Yeah. And let me check here. And
Unless she picks up more votes in Dorchester, which she probably will.
She will.
yeah, she will. She will at this point.
Yeah, she's down 3,600 according to DDHQ.
Because of Dorchester. She's narrowly winning Dorchester.
Right,
by less than 50 votes.
What is Buford waiting on? Are they stuffing the ballot boxes or something?
I don't know.
They got to get 16,000.
They accidentally got all the votes from Beaufort County in North Carolina and are having to remove those. Also, Jasper County, which is right nearby, it basically has no people. Nothing in the district is also technically there and be tied to it. Yeah, Berkeley County right now, entirely in the district, cast 18,618 votes.
And of course, Nevada still hurts us and hasn't reported anything.
Yep.
Dang Nevada. So we're basically just waiting on the first district right now in South Carolina. That's fun. And the 34th.
Yep.
Ooh.
Be really funny if this ended up being like a 49-49-2 race.
That'd be terrible. That'd be the worst thing.
Yeah, here. Do we have anything else? Oof. New York Times now has Flores at 49.9%.
Oh.
She's been gaining. They still have 30% left for my perception is she's going to keep gaining votes.
Yeah, Flores is going to win outright. But honestly, that was a closer margin than I thought it would be.
Closer than I thought it would be. I think combined, it's probably going to be like R+5, which points
which
to
is
like
a shift of 9 points.
9 points points to something like an R+5 environment, which isn't like super weird or different than what we've been seeing. So,
yeah, R+5 would honestly be good given the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean it's.
So it looks like actually, we mentioned earlier in South Carolina how upstate South Carolina gives the worst margins to candidates. Greenville County is Republican County, is by far Mcmaster's worst county. Musselwhite is winning about 25% of the vote in that county. Like, that's an idea. Like, that's where Bob Jones, that's where all like the really, really, really conservative, rural, social conservative people are.
Right.
So that does not surprise me at all.
So I'm sorry, but I love that Nevada has none of these candidates as an option.
Yes. But the problem is if none of these candidates wins, it just goes to the candidate with the most votes. It doesn't have a new
that's
election or anything.
really stupid. What's the point of that?
Well, in 2014, none of these candidates won the Democratic primary, which was probably an indication about how that year was going to go in Nevada for them.
As in, Republicans won literally every statewide office and both houses of the legislature.
Yep.
I just want to give people an update here. The Times is now matching with DDHQ, and that they are saying that all the results from Dorchester County in the first district are in. Just want to mention that.
That's
So
Is
not
all
good.
of Charleston in?
That's DDHQ was saying no. The
That's
Times
not
is saying yes. The Times is usually at this point changed to agree with DDHQ.
That's not good for Arrington.
Yeah, if Dorchester is done and it's that like 50 under like 47 vote margin,
Yeah. Yeah,
again, this is all going to come down to Beaufort, but
Crucial Beaufort County. Oh, and by the way, DDHQ in House Myra Flores at 50.9% of the vote.
oh baby,
Wait,
we're
50.9?
flipping a seat tonight, boys.
50.9
Get
or
out the
50.09.
Get out the
50.9.
champagne.
50.9. That's going to be, if you add it up, it's going to be like R+5 already, potentially with, oh no, the old DH uses it, says it's all in. Oh yeah, New York Times updated the same thing.
So it's all
Yeah,
in.
they say that
It's not
all in.
The
It
New York
says
Times says it's not all in.
Yeah, DDHQ says 95% of the vote is in.
So
I don't think that's, well, I don't know. Depends on how much is out in Cameron.
Texas State Board of Elections also has Flores at 50.7%.
Right. I'm thinking, yeah, there's going to be R+5, maybe 6, but great. Okay, let's get some Nevada results up in here. Let's go.
come on.
Come on, baby. Let's go. I actually think it'd be very funny if Adam Laxalt lost. Like,
It would be hilarious.
I don't know. Sam Brown's kind of an interesting candidate to me because he doesn't have like the vibes of like a lunatic. You know what I mean?
well, I don't think he
Yeah.
is. He's not.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the lunatic in that race?
No one.
There's no lunatic?
Not really a
That's
real
the
lunatic.
Republican primary in 2022.
Joey Gilbert is the real lunatic.
We need a
Republican
trucker
race.
Bob in the race.
I mean, like, here's Sam Brown's website is like, taking action against crony capitalism, cut taxes, repeal regulations. Immigration is secure the border, control the process of legal entry. Big on veterans.
So boring.
Wants to pass election security legislation.
There you go.
I don't know, standard stuff for foreign policy.
So are you sure there's nothing on the website that we've missed, like, say, supporting a $20,000 payment to all new married people or Medicare for all?
Yeah, strong on Second Amendment. I mean, like, like there's just like, he's like, oh, anti critical race theory, pro-life, I guess. It's like at the bottom of his website. It makes me think maybe he's not like actually that pro-life. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, this is like a very standard, like, conservative website. I just think he's like a very normal person.
Mm-hmm. You need one lunatic in every race.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Wait, who's going to be the
lies you're
gubernatorial
spouting,
nominee?
sir? But no, we do not.
Who's going to be the gubernatorial nominee for Republicans?
Probably
is
Lombardo,
or
the Clark County sheriff.
Right.
Okay, if we don't have results in like 10 minutes, I think I'm gonna go.
That's fine.
I'm getting tired.
We are going to.
I had 9
if-
hours
if-
of
if-
orientation today.
Oh God, that sounds terrible.
It was an experience.
Was that for law school, Dylan?
Yeah. I start
Where are
my
you going to
summer.
law school again? Is it Rutgers?
Yeah.
Like,
The
Kraz, are you
Scarlet
aspiring
Knights.
for big law? Are you aspiring for big law or just small law?
Big law sounds very taxing, but we will see how much money I want at the end. I doubt it.
Rutgers is close to New York City, so there's that.
Oh my God!
What happened?
What?
So, because of a recent redistricting error, all of the results from Beaufort County are going to be delayed until all precincts have reported.
Wait, we got some results in Beaufort. According to DDHQ, and it's over.
Yeah.
Nancy Mace wins 52-46.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Beaufort. All right.
That would be it.
That was very anticlimactic.
That would certainly end the race.
That was so anticlimactic. Man.
Okay. Well, if those are the real results, then that's ball game then.
If that's the real result.
If that's the real results.
But no, I doubt I'll go for big law. That sounds really stressful.
But on the other hand, it's big money.
It is.
It is big money. But
it is big stress.
It is. I was you bill a lot of hours.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I
I've seen the big law memes.
You've seen the memes?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm saying anything. I'm just saying there's like a non-zero chance that Timmons is forced into a runoff with Mark Burns.
Oh God.
Ooh.
I hate that world.
Non-zero, but I don't know at this point.
Well, wait, is Mark Burns the anti-gay guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, according to New York Times, at 54% with 53% in.
Yeah, Timmons is not doing well.
Which why?
Again, this is Greenville. This is the Greenville area. There are some normal conservatives, and there are also some lunatics that just want to see the world burn.
Okay, but can you guys stop your lunatics? I like crazy people, but I don't like when the crazy people win. I like watching the crazy people's campaigns crash and burn.
To be fair, Mark Burns is only at 22% of the vote. Mark Burns is only at 22% of the vote.
I'm looking at
he's
the
a
other
pastor.
guy
Good grief.
who's getting 16%.
Ah, no. Oh, no. This is bad.
What?
This is bad.
What?
Oh,
What's
God.
bad?
Oh,
What?
fuck. Pro-Trump candidate calls for executing parents of LGBTQ plus kids.
Wait,
Oh,
who is
no.
this?
Oh,
That's
no.
also Mark
What? He said what? Oh, no.
We should start putting some of these parents in jail for abusing their children's minds. Any teacher that is teaching LGBT, transgenderism, furries, or actually he called them flurries, but he meant furries.
I'm sorry, I can't. Flurries.
Any sexual orientation communication should be immediately terminated, not like terminated in terms of life, but terminated for that.
Wait, terminated from their job or terminated from life?
Terminated from their job. Terminated from their job.
Okay,
I want to start holding people accountable for treason to the Constitution. We need to hold people for treason, start having public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty of treasonous acts against the Constitution.
So does he think being gay is against the Constitution?
I'm not sure. This is he wants to be held for child abuse, and he seems to think that it's like a war for children. Also, he's black. So like, he's a Donald Trump's top pastor. What in tarnation?
I told you this guy is a madman.
Don't you remember Burns from 2016?
I told you that this guy was a madman.
He was like the guy who was there like every rally down like below the Mason-Dixon line. He was the guy. He was the pastor who'd be up there yelling at every rally.
On his platform. On his platform. Critical race theory is communist anti-white racism.
I like your lunatics so much better when they lose.
So do we. You'd be surprised.
I know you guys do.
Again, it's hard for me to describe how conservative like a rural Greenville is. Like,
Can
they're
anyone
pretty out there.
Can anyone confirm those Beaufort numbers? Because I saw the South Carolina website, Board of Election site, did not have them yet.
Well, again, we've seen DDHQ have them before.
Oh, absolutely, but I imagine
DDHQ has them. If as long as they have them, as long as they don't take them down, then that's ball game. Then, quite honestly,
I just.
Wait, I looked up his other challenger, Michael LaPierre.
Is he an insane person too?
He got his bachelor's degree from Brown and his master's degree from Bob Jones. We've got key issues.
Choice.
Key issues is kind of an interesting hodgepodge. I think you guys will enjoy this. Term limits, the Stock Act to prevent congressional trading.
Okay. So far, I don't hate it.
Congressional Ethics Committee, increased ethics training.
Good.
Then we get into
when am I going to start hating this? Because so far I'm kind of okay.
Institutionalized Marxism will destroy America.
There you go.
It will lead to a totalitarian form of government.
Wait, I thought we liked egalitarian government.
No, totalitarian.
Oh.
Then vaccine and mask mandates violate our First Amendment rights. The U.S. Supreme Court has always protected these rights through the religious exemptions. There is defined case law to support our cause. Sherbert v. Verner, overturned. Wisconsin v. Yoder, never heard of it. Religious Freedom Restoration Act, also ruled illegal by the Supreme Court. So he's at least at best 1 of 3 on that. But he seems like he's running like a 2010 like Tea Party campaign.
Like, okay, the ethics stuff is fine. I don't like term limits, but I like the other stuff. And then we
there's nothing crazy here, like executing people, deporting all illegal immigrants, and then replacing them
he's running like a conservative outsider kind of Tea Party primary,
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what year it is. This is the year of running Trumpy House Select Committees on Un-American Activities campaigns. That's what kind of year we're in.
So why has Nevada not reported anything yet?
That's a good question.
Because Nevada hates us.
On Timmons, though, I think there's no way they're 74% in like DDHQ says, because it says there's like it says there's half the voted in Greenville, which has only 6,000 votes right now.
Yeah, that's not.
And like that just can't be. It's not only going to cast 12,000 primary votes. That would be like I can look up the whatever the 2018 numbers. It cast 35,000 in the Republican primary in 2018.
I remember Greenville is where the lunatic vote is from.
Yes.
I'll shoot out.
Yeah, so Timmons is at 55.3.
New York Times is at 54 with more votes in, like a lot more votes in, but still only 30,000 votes in, which is like definitely like half. Like it's not like it's. Someone in the chat said there's going to be a specific time when Nevada drops its votes.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, go to bed.
Good night, y'all. I will see you on Friday.
See you on Friday, buddy.
Good Good luck with the rest of this.
All right. So I mean, I guess Nevada's the last one. What are the chances you think Laxalt loses, Joe?
I'll put it at 15%. I'll put it at a good hearty 15%.
Good hearty 15%. I think that's fair. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, I think it totally. Yes, I wouldn't have said it if I didn't think it was fair.
Yeah, Joe is just known for saying things that don't make any sense. I kid.
Am I? It depends on the day.
Says they can't report votes until everyone has voted. People are still in big lines in some places, so it may be a while. I'm not sure if we want to.
No.
If we know,
well,
yeah,
if that's the case, we're going to bed at. I'm going to bed at 11. We're ending at 11 then tonight.
So, like, I think, like, I mean, I want to see that. But, yeah, I don't know if Timmons actually loses a runoff to Burns because, like, he did get more votes and Burns is only at 25% if that goes into a runoff. But that's still concerning, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, that would be quite surprising. If he managed to not get 50%. I think he will.
It's not like Timmons is on pot. I think it must be. I honestly forgotten about Burns.
Right.
The whole Trump pastor thing. I thought his pastor was still Paula White.
No, Burns was like one of the first guys there in 2016. Yeah. Like I remember Burns pretty well. I remember Burns yelling at a lot of those places like very vividly. Like I remember Burns being like very vividly in the Trump campaign.
Yeah, I think I mean maybe that's what's doing it for him, the Trump campaign connection.
Well, yeah, of course. Burns was a very high, and he's run before. Like he's run so many times before.
Right.
Well, he used to be a Democrat too. Like that's a
really. I feel like didn't Linwood used to be a Democrat too.
No, he said he's a Democrat who voted for Obama.
Yeah, so
because he wanted the black president. That's what Mark Burns said. It's interesting though they don't allow any votes to be counted while anyone is in line. That's
interesting.
I don't think that's necessarily bad, but it's an interesting policy, certainly.
It's interesting. It actually makes some sense, right? I think there was the conventional wisdom that like in 2000 some Gore voters got out of line. I don't know.
No. Careful with the tweet. I want it to be reworded.
Okay, yeah.
I want to make sure it's entirely accurate.
Yeah, not really surprising at all. I mean, Mesa was closer than I expected tonight, I think.
Well, not necessarily. The final Trafalgar poll was about 46-40 with 13% undecideds for Mace. And so if that holds, they basically split the undecideds at this point.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of that, it's not really that surprising. I also want to say some more ballots from Charleston came in. Charleston is now voted the heaviest of the state, basically. 20.5K ballots, and Mace won those 62-37, which is bigger than any margin that. If you want to know a reason why Mace is winning / probably won tonight, it's because of that in Charleston.
Yeah, I mean, she did that's where she needs to do well, and she matches that kind of Republican energy in those Charleston suburbs very well. So I'm not surprised she's doing well there. But that's what she needed, right?
Yep. As long as she held over 60% in Charleston, I was relatively confident in her victory, and she seems to have done that. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, wow. Well, if anybody has any questions in the chat, feel free.
Yeah, any questions to the chat?
Yeah, any questions?
Flores is on the official board of elections for Texas, is up over 51%. DDHQ saying the same thing, 51.02%.
We do.
Wait, she's up to what in a
51%.
Fascinating. Geez, I mean, wow, 51, and it's going to be, yeah, I mean, so it's basically going to be exactly R plus 5, which means that RRH basically nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So we have one question. Why does Eric Cunningham hate South Carolina so much? Self-explanatory.
I don't hate South Carolina. It's the inferior Carolina. Worse education system, worse roads. You only have half of Carowinds. We have the better half, I think, personally. You got Myrtle Beach. We have.
I didn't know that Carowinds was half split. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know? Yeah, half of Carowinds.
No, I didn't know that. Carolina. I thought it was only North Carolina.
No, half of Carowinds is in North Carolina. Half of it is in South Carolina. They actually used to have a roller coaster. That was half of it was in North Carolina, half of it was in South Carolina. There's literally, you can see the state line when you go into the park. You have to come sometime. I have season tickets, so if you're ever in the area, I can get you cheaper season tickets, or I can get you cheaper tickets. But yeah, you got it. It's a great theme park. I need to go out there, but gas is expensive, and I don't want to go when it's like 90 degrees. But yeah, half of it is in North, half of it in South Carolina. That's why it's both theme parks. Yeah, resident South Carolina is saying just because you may be incorrect in some aspects doesn't mean I have to accept it. That's fair. There are things South Carolina does better, I'm sure. I can't think of them off the top of my head. I mean, I like Darlington. Darlington's probably one of the better NASCAR tracks, so there's that.
Yeah, wait. Then someone said, interesting question. Do you think Texas Republicans would they redraw South Texas?
Yes, absolutely.
I think so, right? Yeah, for sure. You wouldn't make it.
Folks, I just want to bring attention here right now. DDHQ is now officially called that Russell Fry has unseated Tom Rice. Wow. He will avoid a runoff there in South Carolina 7th Congressional District. Russell Fry will almost certainly be the new congressman in the 7th District. We have that currently rated as safe Republican. It is a Trump plus a lot seat, and almost certainly he will be the congressman come November. But that's a big one there. Russell Fry avoids runoff, will become the Republican nominee without a runoff in South Carolina 7th.
So results will not be released until the final vote center in Nevada has closed. It will probably be after 11 before we get any results from Nevada.
All
it
right,
was
so
after
we're
11
ending at
11
11.
p.m.
So we're gonna avoid Nevada tonight. Sadly, it looks like. But
Yeah, 11 o'clock p.m. is the absolute earliest that Nevada results will come in.
Oh, then yeah, okay. Well, we should probably sign off then.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's the absolute earliest. But yeah, do we want to sum up everything before we close off? I know, but there
Well,
isn't an
I want
official
to wait
meeting.
until 11 because I want to see
Oh,
the
gotcha.
Mace numbers.
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
because
fair. Is that when that's dropping too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
South
I
Carolina 1 has not been officially called. We would expect Mace to win based on just what we've seen from Beaufort.
Yeah.
And then obviously Myra Flores. Other outlets have called for Myra. DDHQ is not called yet, but if I would be surprised if they don't soon. She's over 51%. Republicans are actually over 52.5% in the primary now. That's a pretty substantial shift from November. This was a Biden plus 4 seat. Republicans will probably finish this with at least 52.5% of the vote, possibly more.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to go a little bit higher. R plus 5 or R plus 6. I mean, RRH nailed it, right? So credit to them.
Aside from the Biden approval question, which is that was actually an absolutely understandable error in that poll, was they worded it as "Do you approve of?" Yeah, that was a regrettable typo. The question they used was, "Do you approve or disapprove of Biden, President Joe Biden?" The problem with this question is, some people could read it as, "Do you approve or disapprove? Yes or no." So, like, do you approve? Yes. Do you disapprove? No. Or you can read, do you approve or disapprove? In which case, basically, you have an opinion of Joe Biden as president. In which case, you're going to answer yes, which skews the entire question.
Right. So that's why they had
Biden
approval being weirdly high.
Yeah. Which is again probably because voters were like, yes, I approve or disapprove of.
It's confusing, right? It's confusing wording.
It basically normally should be, do you approve of Joe Biden? That would be what the question should be. Do you approve of Joe Biden? Yes or no? Like that would be. Or do you approve or disapprove, and then have approve and disapprove as options?
Oh.
How much is in from Beaufort, whatever?
DDHQ saying around 91%.
Yep, and Mace is up 50, not 50. Basically the same margin she is in the district.
Yeah.
It is over.
Someone asked, who's our favorite election Nate? Silver, Cone, or Rakic? I like Cone personally.
Cone is pretty good.
Yeah, I think his numbers are the best.
I like Rakic. Rakic interacts with me sometimes. I like Rakic.
I'm not familiar with Rakic.
He's the 530. He's another 538 Nate.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the other one.
I think I used to like Silver more than I like Silver now. I think he's kind of vanished somewhat. I think 538 has personally gone somewhat downhill.
I think part of it is that their sports stuff is good, although they've been underestimating the Warriors, which is very offensive. But their sports stuff is mostly good. And I think they really shine during elections, because even though their 2020 model wasn't perfect by any stretch, I think it's a very easy way to keep track of where things are, and they do a really good job with it. I think some of their politics stuff now is a little bit more kind of op-ed-y, it's not sometimes it feels a little tenuous sometimes. I
really dislike the articles from what's the guy who keeps writing stuff like how Republicans are destroying democracy because they don't want to expand the Senate or something along that line. I come to 538 for statistics. I don't come to be lectured on how the Senate is racist, and if you don't support expanding the Supreme Court, you literally want violence.
Ugh. Okay, and the Times officially just accepted in the Beaufort results.
The what?
Beaufort.
Yeah, the Times just dropped those, so we might see a call here soon. I think from the Times regarding Nancy Mason the first. Hopefully, dear God, I hope so.
Yeah, if she's winning in Beaufort, I'm thinking that is that's ball game. Like, there's no way.
Well, I mean, she has, and Arrington has to win. Beaufort
She's up by 5,000 votes.
Beaufort by a lot. Like, she has to win them by a lot.
Yeah.
And there's the Times is estimating around 6,000 left. DDHQ is estimating a little bit less than that, but I mean, she basically have to win like 9,000 to 3,000. Like,
right.
No, she'd have to win like every ballot. She'd have to win every ballot, basically. So yeah, okay, this is ball. Okay, that's ball game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's it. That would actually that makes Arrington the second Trump endorsed congressional
loss.
Yeah, that would make that after Cawthorn. Eric.
There's 18.
Eric.
Careening at you.
Go.
Okay, great.
Go.
Yeah. But after Cawthorn,
I looked down and there's 18. I looked down and there's 18 text messages.
I think is this the first time I think that multiple congressional candidates endorsed by Trump have lost in a cycle since he became president, I think. Because most of his losses have been
well, 2018 he was like almost perfect. Remember? That was like the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I'm saying in multiple elections here. I'm saying in multiple elections because he did very well in 2018. I think in 2020, the only congressional, not statewide, congressional candidate he saw lost was actually Lydia Bennett against Madison Cawthorn, funnily enough.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, he lost it again when Cawthorn lost to Chuck Edwards, of course.
Right,
and then now he's lost. I think this is the first time he's lost multiple congressional races, I think, in a cycle.
Well, so it's funny. Yeah, I mean, he's lost North Carolina 11 twice now. I think he's lost. Yeah, he was like nearly perfect up until 2020. I think that was the whole thing. Aaron Hutton asks, by the way, do you all think Flores can win in November under the new lines? It's possible, but I would have been more confident in her with if she won bigger, like if she had done like won by 8 or 10 points, I would have been like, maybe, but it was only R+5 in this election. Like it's going to be tough because the new district is like 11 points bluer.
Well, the thing is, though, if she can do as well as she did in Cameron County in the general election,
right.
Like that changes perspectives then. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
Like that would change things drastically. I actually do think the result in Cameron County is really key here tonight.
Right.
Because I don't think even for again, this is the Rio Grande Valley, an area that has had issues with turnout before. It was a low volume turnout race, that's for sure. But I mean, come on. I mean, this was a place where Hillary Clinton won by 33% back in 6 years ago, like less than 6 years ago at this point. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like the fact that we even again, special election, sometimes things don't translate, but this is a place where we're talking about a Republican surge. And I think the Cameron County results, the fact that she is winning, even now, the fact that she is winning in Cameron County, I don't think we understand. That's like Cameron County has been, even when the seat that held Cameron County, the old Farrenfold seat flipped in 2010, I believe he still lost Cameron County by he only won it because of Corpus Christi was in the seat still. And there was a Republican in Corpus Christi. I mean, Cameron was still the blue sink in that district. And we're in this place now where if we're seeing, if theoretically that he under that kind of that borderline, Hidalgo of the big counties would be the last blue one. And even then, I think I don't think she's.
Well, what was Hidalgo like? Biden +9 or something? Like it wasn't even like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like it's just one of those things where you're looking at and say, well, man, she's winning Cameron County. That's a big deal. I mean, again, I understand it's a special election. I understand some people want to toss us away, but winning Cameron County is not a small deal.
No,
I think this is a lean going off. I think this might be a leans D race. I still think this is a race where, obviously Democrats are favored, but. Philemon Vea has never really ran in a whole lot of these areas before. He's a Hidalgo guy, who basically got a little edge onto this district so he could run in it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, just think about it. I think here, it's the
this is a huge win. I mean, because it confirms. Someone made the good point that like the numbers themselves don't tell us that much.
Folks, we want to say that DDHQ is now called the race for Myra Flores. Myra Flores has won outright in Texas' 34th Congressional District. DDHQ, in concurrence with Elections Daily, is now making that call. Myra Flores is the next congressman from Texas 34th, the current Texas 34th Congressional District, and will flip that seat for Republicans to Democrats at this point.
What I totally forgot that we had North Dakota results.
I don't think anything interesting has happened there, quite honestly. Oh, yeah, Vicente Gonzalez. Thank you for the reminder there, Jonathan. Thank you. But I think my point still mostly stands at this point.
Yeah, I don't think the numbers in Texas 34 tell us anything that radical, right? Like you're looking at a basically like R+6 electorate, right? There was in a district that was Biden +4. R +5 or 6 is well within the range that people have talked about for November, right? I mean, totally within that range. And like, so that doesn't really tell us anything that new. But what is interesting about it is that like this is a district where Trump improved by like 20 points in 2020 from 2016. And I think a lot of the conventional wisdom, whenever you see that, is, oh, it's a fluke. It was because Democrats didn't door knock hard enough in the valley.
Don't forget the door knocking.
And the door knocking, yeah. Oh, they didn't door knock hard. Whatever. You hear all this stuff. And so then I think this is a confirmation, that, hey, like these trends are real. It's not just like, oh, like Hispanics always vote for the incumbent. Whatever that was. I mean, I don't know.
Good question. Good question. But the Rio Grande Valley, it's just going to be a fascinating area. It just is. Like, it's just going to be a fascinating area to watch and see, and just how it reacts and how it's going to continue to react. It's just going to be fascinating, and I'm very excited to see how it goes. All right, folks, we're about 6 minutes out from calling it tonight. We just want to say that the Times is estimating around 7,000 votes left in North Carolina's first congressional district GOP primary. Unless Katie Arrington were basically to win all those votes, it's basically like a 90-10 margin. It's not happening there. So we expect Mace to be the winner there, barring a surprise. We expect Nancy Mace to be the victor there. in that regards. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see here. Obviously, now we can confirm that Tom Rice has become another Republican to lose a primary this year. Tom Rice will fall to Russell Fry outright. Russell Fry has won outright tonight in South Carolina 7th Congressional District. And in the special election for Texas 34, Myra Flores has officially flipped that seat. We have just called that in the last 4 minutes here. Myra Flores is going to be the congressman for about the next 6 months in Texas 34, and potentially going into the after the November election, depending on those results there. So, responses from the rest of the panel tonight. Eric, what do you think? Just responses from you on tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty standard. This is about what we expected. Mace holding on, Myra Flores winning. I think we had the special leans Republican. I think nothing too out of the ordinary here, aside from just how utterly beaten Tom Rice was. I did not expect that margin. I expected him to at least put up a little bit more of a fight. This was beyond anything I'd expected.
Yeah, I'd echo that I think that Rice did worse than I was expecting. Mace did worse than I was expecting, although it wasn't like as out of line as Rice. Nothing too surprising. This is a pretty mellow night. We had some pretty crazy nights. Like last week was like we were off.
Yeah. Now last week was crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's all, nothing too surprising. But yeah, instructive, especially Texas 34, I think is pretty instructive. So,
yep.
Yeah. Nick.
Yeah. All right. So with that, folks, we want to thank you guys for watching. This has been another almost 4-hour stream. I want to then thank everyone. We again held near between 50 to 60 viewers on the night here on YouTube. Again, if you were just finding us now, please give us a like and subscribe. Again, we'll see you guys Friday for our usual Elections Weekly podcast. You'll hopefully see. Well, actually, no. You will see a Core 3. I will not be available that night. I am engaged in another event, but you'll see Eric, Kraz, and Dylan on 7:30 on Friday night for Elections Weekly. They will recap this week's results, and they'll do a very good job of it. I know it. So other than that, we want to thank you guys for again staying with us throughout these basically whole 4 hours where there wasn't necessarily a whole lot always. We're a little bit disappointed that Nevada seems to be definitely waiting quite a while tonight. We're a little bit disappointed in that. We are still wondering whether or not we will go for a stream next week or not. We are still considering it. We do not know yet. At this point, though, we would say at this point plan for about a 7 p.m. start for next Tuesday for Virginia, regular primary and runoffs in Georgia and Alabama. We expect that to be a relatively shorter night. I don't think we'll go to nearly 11 o'clock again. I think that'll be a shorter night just because of the time zones of those states and also the races we expect to count. But otherwise, thank you guys. We will see these guys. Will see you on Friday.
Yep.
We will see you guys next Tuesday for those results in Virginia. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you